Good afternoon and welcome back. We'll be beginning with the panel discussion. But before that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our two esteemed guests. For the panel discussion, we have the panel chair cum moderator, Professor Nimit Chaudhary. I would request our principal to please welcome sir. Professor Nimit Chaudhary is the head of Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management and Faculty of Management Studies at Jamia Islamia, New Delhi. The second guest, Chef Ramchandra Oraon. He's the executive chef, Radisson Blue, Ranchi. Thank you, sir. The topic for the panel discussion, culinary tourism today and tomorrow. The panel chair for the same is Professor Nimit Chaudhary. Dr. Chaudhary is a professor, researcher, author, public speaker, academic administrator. Having spent nearly 3 decades in academics, Sir taught courses on service marketing, tourism, destination marketing, entrepreneurship, and research methodology. As an avid writer, Sir has authored 24 books and more than 235 research papers, chapters, and popular articles that have been a part of over 200 conferences and 52 training programs. The expert speakers today we have is Master Chef Jamila Zaki. She, a Wonder Woman chef, Lebanese and Syrian expat. Her passion and commitment for food has earned her a strong recognition in the culinary world. Chef Dr. Prem Ram. Dr. Prem Ram is a renowned chef who holds a unique distinction of being both a medical doctor and a culinary expert. Dr. Ram's holistic approach to food has earned him recognition as a leading figure in the field of culinary medicine. Chef Nishant Chaube is a highly acclaimed Indian chef known for his innovation, culinary creation, and his expertise in modern Indian cuisine. Chef Chaube is known for his ability to blend traditional Indian flavors with contemporary cooking techniques. Chef Ramchandra Oraon, Executive Chef, Hotel Radisson Blue, Ranchi, is a culinary artist hailing from the state of Jharkhand in India, known for his expertise in tribal cuisine. Chef Oraon's culinary journey involves preserving and promoting the culinary traditions of his region while also incorporating modern elements to the appeal of a wider audience. We also have Chef Asit Kundu. He is an alumni of IHM Hyderabad and has spent over 15 years in this industry with good hotels like Taj, Ictthc, and now he is the general manager for Capital Residency. I request everybody to please welcome these delegates on stage for the panel discussion.
So a very good afternoon to one and all. I am Professor Nimit Chaudhary and the person responsible for getting this panel going. First and foremost, let me place on record appreciation on behalf of the entire panel for the organizers for allowing us this opportunity to talk to you, talk amongst ourselves and interact with you, take your questions and queries as well. The couple of things that I think I must come up with before we begin this very interesting panel discussion on culinary tourism today and tomorrow, right? So to begin with, let me admit that my role and my job today here up on this panel is to moderate the session and get this session going. I am one person who is an outcast here because we have all the experts, culinary experts. So I'm just the suffix, tourism part, so I'll take care of that. Second is that this is a post-lunch session. We've had a very sumptuous lunch with the perils, with the dangers of making us sleep. So we'll not keep it very serious. We'll try to keep it light-hearted and to keep people awake. I've also been advised that we conduct this discussion bilingual. So we'll use English and Hindi. And I assume and I'm told कि हिंदी सबको समझ में आती है. Right? Yes, we'll have some spices from Arabic spices. Yeah. Yes, of course. And if everyone agrees, I have a couple of issues that I thought I'll raise. और मैं एक एक करके आपसे एक एक्सपर्ट से एक क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ, एक क्वेरी रखता हूँ आपके सामने, एंड देन एक जना कोई और अगर उस पर रिस्पॉन्ड करना चाहे, बिकॉज कुछ ना कुछ हमारे जहन में आएगा, कुछ ना कुछ हमारे दिमाग में चलेगा, तो हम उसको भी यहाँ रखें एंड so that people feel interested in it. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. The session will remain open. So if you have queries, you can ask those queries, but since we'll have one issue, at most 2 or 3 speakers, तो हो सकता है उतनी देर में question नहीं आए, तो even if towards the end of the session, you have some queries for any one of us, not me, the experts here. So we'll try to take those queries also. As a background note for this discussion, I'll start with something from tourism. And in tourism for last so many years, हम लोगों को ये कहते आ रहे हैं कि tourism is not about sightseeing. It's more about experiences. So it's not, and as tourism is evolved, जैसे evolve हुआ है tourism, मैं ना एक तो टीचर हूँ, तो मैं क्लास में बच्चों को बहुत डांट वाट लगा देता हूँ, तो ये पीछे आवाज आवाज जो करेगा ना, मैं बीच बीच में डांटता रहूंगा, यही मेरा काम है. तो आराम से हम एक्सपर्ट्स को सुनते रहेंगे. तो टूरिज्म इज अबाउट एक्सपीरियंसेस. इंपॉर्टेंट ये नहीं है कि हमने कितनी जगहें देखी, हमने कितनी मॉन्यूमेंट्स देखे. एक रिच टूरिस्ट वो है जिसके पास एक बहुत रिच पोर्टफोलियो है एक्सपीरियंसेस का. और जब हम एक्सपीरियंसेस की बात कर रहे हैं, when you're talking about experiences, experience at a destination is almost incomplete without food. Agreed? बहुत रिसेंटली मैं एक और इवेंट में ये कमेंट कर रहा था कि लास्ट 20 इयर्स फूड इंडस्ट्री हैज मेड ट्रिमेंडस, हैज इवॉल्व्ड ट्रिमेंडसली. पहले हमारे पास 3-4 ऑप्शंस रहते थे, बट नाउ वी आर वेरी ओपन टू एक्सपेरिमेंटेशंस, वी आर वेरी ओपन टू एक्सपेरिमेंटिंग विद फूड, ताकि वो कंट्रीब्यूट करें एक ओवरऑल एक्सपीरियंस में, राइट? सो If you permit me, I'll start with you. So one of the premises or one of the reasons why people travel is to earn experiences. वो जो culturally rich और deep experiences होते हैं, वो tourism की जान है. So my first question is to Chef Jamila that how can culinary tourism promote cultural exchange and understanding between different peoples of different countries and different regions? How do you see it as a mediator of cultural exchange?
Hi. The mediator has always been the food for cultural exchange and the cuisines. We, being the mediators, we should promote this. And food is the most important part of this. And authentic food that I would suppress, that it's very important to have authenticity in the food, whatever you chose to.
Anyone of the panelists who would like to add to this? How do you see कि food से cultural exchange strong होगा या उसका mediation होता है?
Um, Sir, what actually I mean to say is, if we talk about culture, what actually culture is, culture and cuisine both go side by side. We say cuisine is a reflection of your culture. So that means what we eat shows from which culture we belong, which tradition we follow. So that means if we are following a particular cuisine, we are introducing our culture. The most important thing, what I want to say in a phrase, we are talking about culinary tourism and we are talking about cuisine and culture. लेकिन एक शब्द है ना, बोलते हैं ना कि एक साधे सब सधे, सब साधे सब जाए, और जो तू सींचे मूल को तो फूले फले आघाए. दैट मीन्स अगर आप वो रूट को नरिश करते हो, देन द प्लांट ग्रोज. तो यहाँ भी if we are talking about a culture, we are talking about the cuisine. If you have towards your root, you have the knowledge of the roots, then only the culture can develop, that can be flourished. And then only we can, because what is the main propaganda over here, that little knowledge is dangerous. और हम लोग को थोड़ा थोड़ा पता होता है, हम मिक्स करके कुछ ना कुछ बात बोल देते हैं. और लेकिन अगर हमें उस क्यूजीन के बारे में, उसके रूट्स के बारे में पता रहेगा, तभी हम उस कल्चर को डेवलप कर सकते हैं. सर,
तो क्या मैं आपकी बात को ऐसे समझ सकता हूँ या ऐसे रख सकता हूँ कि चूंकि एक्सपीरियंसेस इज एट द हार्ट ऑफ ट्रेवल, और जब आप किसी डिफरेंट कल्चर में एक्सपीरियंस लेने के लिए ट्रेवल कर रहे हैं तो आपको कुछ टेंजिबल्स की जरूरत होगी, एंड फूड इज वन एम्बॉडीमेंट ऑफ कल्चरल एक्सपीरियंसेस. उससे कम्युनिकेट ज्यादा होगा.
वेरी ट्रू सर. जैसे अभी हम लोग यहाँ पे झारखंड आए, सिंपल से एग्जांपल है. अब शेफ निशांत वाज देयर सिंस यस्टरडे, ही वाज डिस्कसिंग अबाउट झारखंड फूड व्हिच वी आर नॉट अवेयर ऑफ इट. We have been, before coming to this place, we have referred certain Jharkhand mein hai kya, Ranchi mein hai kya, and we looked about it and we want to taste that food. But a person who is a native of this place, and if you discuss about that particular food, then it attracts, tourism. We were saying him, ki, please, we want to visit that place, we want to visit that place. That means we are in search of that particular location for having our food. We go to that place, the tourism increase.
I just want to add one. Yeah, please.
So let's not only, I mean, I believe that, ingredient is heart of a recipe. And cuisine cannot be strong if the ingredient is not right. And Jharkhand is full of flora and fauna. It has got amazing, ingredient which has to travel. So it's also about ingredient diplomacy that I would add it here, which adds so much of warmth, which adds so much of wellness, which adds so much of health, which adds so much of positivity in our life. And I have been continuously traveling. And I look at what our place has, and if that has to travel, like they're talking about incubating stuff, like they want to preserve, they want to keep things which is available 365 days in a year in the best possible format. So if that ingredient travels, it of course travels with culture, with heritage, with taste, with diplomacy, and so much to learn more about it. So I think this will add feather to our cap if we can position this thing and not limit our stuff in one place. I mean, why am I talking about ingredient? Because, we have so much to share. And in fact, I would like to quote Chef Niyati Rao, who has done restaurant in Mumbai called Ictthc, where she is modernizing tribal cuisine. And somehow this is a diplomacy between Jharkhand and Mumbai, that she has got ingredient from there and she is creating revolution, I would say.
मैं इसको जैसे देख रहा हूँ कि ह्यूमन एंडेवर थ्रू आउट द हिस्ट्री ये रहा है कि दे वांट टू अचीव हैप्पीनेस, वेलनेस, फिजिकल वेलबीइंग एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ, एंड दिस सर्च टिपिकली एंड्स इन अ पर्टिकुलर लोकेल कि वहाँ पे क्या क्या उग रहा है, वहाँ क्या मिल रहा है, और वहाँ पे सदियों से लोगों ने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया है फूड के साथ, इवॉल्व किया है अपने कुजीन को। तो ये हर जगह का जो आप कुजीन या इंग्रेडिएंट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, इट गोज अ लॉन्ग वे इन प्रेजेंटिंग कि भाई इस जगह के लोगों का वेलनेस और हैप्पीनेस का जो माने है उसमें फूड का क्या रोल है, और कैसे फूड के रूट से वो वेलनेस को अचीव कर रहे
हैं। GI इंडेक्स जो अभी गवर्नमेंट ने स्टार्ट किया है, सिंबलाइज जो कर रहे हैं GI, ज्योग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन जो दे रहे हैं, it is also about preserving those natural ingredient and giving due respect. Gucci हो गया, mahua हो गया, moringa हो गया. So that's adding up to our ingredient diplomacy.
मेरे ख्याल से we move to another issue because we'll have limited time. So if I can bring in Chef Ramchandra, my question to you, or my what I would like to ask you is कि कैसे chef culinary and the other culinary experts can innovate. कुछ तो था, या अभी आपने जिक्र किया, यू रेफरिंग टू सम शेफ जिन्होंने ग्रेट इंग्रेडिएंट्स को लाए। तो मेरे दो क्वेश्चन है आपसे। पहला, इनोवेशन कैसे किया जाए और कितना इनोवेशन एक्सेप्टेबल है? पता चला हमने इनोवेशन करते करते उसका शक्ल सूरत ही बदल दिया। सो हाउ इज दैट प्रिजर्व्ड?
हाँ, कहते हैं परिवर्तन ही प्रकृति का नियम है। ठीक है, तो इनोवेशन तो चाहिए, और बिना इनोवेशन का लाइफ बहुत मोनोटोनस हो जाता है। हम नहीं चाहेंगे कि एक ही चीज़ बार बार खाएं। परिवर्तन तो चाहिए, लेकिन ऑथेंटिसिटी को बगैर डैमेज किए। ठीक है, हम अगर कोई चीज़ भी बनाते हैं तो ऐसा ना हो कि इनोवेशन के चक्कर में इतना उसको डोमिनेट कर दें कि उसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी ही खत्म हो जाए। तो उस हद तक इनोवेशन करना चाहिए, और उससे इनोवेशन से होता यह है कि खाने की ताजगी बनी रहती है, लोगों का जिज्ञासा बना रहता है, और चीज़ें मूव ऑन करती रहती हैं।
पर वो लिमिट कैसे सेट होगा इनोवेशन का, कि भाई कितना इनोवेशन एक्सेप्टेबल है, कितना नहीं है, और इनोवेशन किन डिमेंशंस में होता है? इज इट प्लेइंग विद द इंग्रेडिएंट्स, इज इट प्लेइंग विद द प्रोसेस? कैसे इनोवेशन लाया जाएगा? क्योंकि जस्ट अ कमेंट, हम टूरिज्म पढ़ाते पढ़ाते या बात करते करते अक्सर ये कहते हैं कि लेट अस रीपोजिशन टूरिज्म नॉट एज अ सर्विस इंडस्ट्री बट एज ए क्रिएटिव इंडस्ट्री। कितना क्रिएटिव आप हो सकते हो टूरिज्म हॉस्पिटैलिटी के साथ, ये डिटरमिन करेगा कि आप कितने कॉम्पिटिटिव हैं ग्लोबल मार्केट में। द गुड थिंग अबाउट इंडिया इज कि हम लोगों ने बहुत इनोवेशन को पिछले 10-15 सालों में एक्सेप्ट किया है, पर मेरा जो डर है वो यही है कि इनोवेट करते करते हम कितना दूर निकल जाएं कि ऑथेंटिसिटी को लूज कर दें। क्योंकि ये भी एक डिबेट है, स्टेज्ड वर्सेस ऑथेंटिक एक्सपीरियंसेस, कि आपका एक्सपीरियंस स्टेज्ड है या ऑथेंटिक है। और अच्छी बात यह है कि सारे एक्सपर्ट्स ने माइक को संभाल लिया है। वी प्रोबेबली गोइंग टू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ गुड इनपुट्स। यस शेफ राम
सर, इनोवेशन का कोई, मैं नहीं समझता हूँ कि कोई लिमिट है। मैं फॉर एग्जांपल यहीं का देता हूँ। उन्होंने रागी कैसे शुरू किया। रागी पहले लोग बोलते मड़ुआ, जिसको मड़ुआ का मोल बोलते थे, जो लीस्ट बॉर्डर, बहुत कम सस्ते अनाज में गिनते थे। आज उनको इन्होंने 100 तरीके से परोसा। चलो आज नहीं, सिर्फ कुकीज़ ही नहीं, क्योंकि आज के मॉडर्न में हम लोग चाय की जगह कुकीज खाते हैं। तो इस हद तक इसका इनोवेशन जहाँ लोगों का वाइडली एक्सेप्टेड हो, उस हद तक इनोवेशन तो सही है। उसके आगे जब उस अनाज का अस्तित्व ही नहीं रह जाएगा तो फिर उतना हद तक इनोवेशन नहीं होना चाहिए, मैं समझता सर।
I just want to add one thing. It's very funny, but I mean, reels और Instagram ने इतना बर्बाद कर दिया है खाने को ना सर, इनोवेशन को बर्बाद कर दिया।
वही चीज बोला।
Okay. Reels और अभी मतलब quote unquote saying that एक बहुत reputed chef, उनके likes देखे जाते हैं उनके authentic food पे, और एक बैंकर हैं जिनका मिलियन लाइक्स हो रहा है, and what she cooked was samosa biryani. So I'm definitely very, very confused right now. What are we heading to? Let's not confuse ourselves. Let's not fuse ourselves. Innovative food fusion नहीं होना चाहिए. And it should not be mixed. अच्छा अभी कुल्फी स्पेगेटी बहुत ट्रेंड कर रहा है. What is this? This is nonsense. Believe me. I mean, this should not be done. Let's not, bastardize our food so much that it doesn't make sense. शेफ ने बिल्कुल सही बात बोला कि अपनी ऑथेंटिसिटी को अलाइव रखते हुए इनोवेशन करो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, बट इतना बर्बाद मत कर दो कि इंस्टाग्राम में लाइक्स इतने ज्यादा आते हैं कि उनको इतना दे गेट मोटिवेटेड. वी वर्क हार्ड टू अर्न व्हाट वी आर टुडे, and then how can we allow food to degrade so much that it starts making no sense? I think we have to come up to certain conclusions saying that we are not going to attempt beyond that. Of course, I know food is very subjective. You like it, I don't like it, I like it, you might not like it, but having said that, basics should be in place.
But I'll play the devil's advocate. From a psychological standpoint, there was a lot of inertia. लोग कोई experiment नहीं करना चाह रहे थे कुछ साल पहले तक. मैं आपकी बात को partially accept कर रहा हूँ कि reels ने, social media ने कर दिया. I was in China. I was invited to teach in China. और मैं बहुत खुश गया. मैंने कहा Chinese तो हमें आदत है खाने की, वहाँ भी खा लेंगे. But when I was in China, ये Hakka noodles और ये सब missing थे. वो कहते हैं ये क्या है? What is this? तो जो कुछ हम Chinese के नाम पे इंडिया में दे रहे थे, वो चाइना में तो नहीं था कम से कम.
100%.
But on the flip side, अभी जैसे गवर्नमेंट ने मिलेट्स को प्रमोट करा और सब जगह सब स्कूल्स में, इंस्टीट्यूशंस में इस पे वर्कशॉप्स हुए, and I was so happy and excited to see the innovations that students came up with. पर वो innovation करने का हिम्मत उन्हें उन बर्बाद रील से ही आया होगा जिसको हम अभी डेमोनाइज कर रहे हैं कि भाई क्योंकि एक इनर्शिया है, उसको भी ओवरकम करना है. I am personally not in favor of कि लोगों की क्रिएटिविटी को किसी भी तरीके से बांधा जाए. भाई आप बांधेंगे नहीं तो आप नाराज हो जाओगे, बांधे होगे तो मैं परेशान हो जाऊंगा. So we need to find some middle ground for this.
The thing is,
Yeah, Fizz, to say something.
yeah, the thing is you should have a limitation in fusionizing the food. You cannot spoil the taste or change the ingredients. Problem in India, they want to taste how they want to taste. They don't want to accept what is the authentic food. They just want to eat what they want. Understand? People have now, chefs now have made it so fusion that the authenticity itself is not there. When we make hummus, they ask, is this hummus? I don't think this is hummus. The person who's lived with hummus is being questioned that, is this hummus? So it is so funny nowadays that everything is so changed. They should not do that. Now, if I want to try something else, which that's not my forte, I should be humble enough to say, this is not my forte, but I can do so much. But this is authentic. They're very sure about what is authentic, which is not right. Shawarma today is not shawarma in India. The shawarma we brought down is not there anymore. So it is not to be done that. They should have the authenticity remaining. You should accept the dish how it is. That's how you taste the taste buds. You cultivate the taste buds, not by just saying, okay, fine, let me add some chili powder because I like it spicy. This is what is happening in India right now. So I'm happy if everybody, tastes the original food and accept it, that'll be better.
Sir, I got a different take on this. What I believe is, food has got psychological and physiological effect, right? As Sir has told, ki how much control should be done, innovation. What I believe, if we are talking about standard recipes or we are talking about a particular dish, yes, it is a dish, but yes, if it is desirable, if I'm a customer, I want a roti with garlic, I prefer to eat that. I may be have a different taste bud and it doesn't harm, psychologically or physically to me, then it should be acceptable. What other thing I believe is, yes, you need that particular dish. Shawarma should be like a shawarma. Then name it shawarma. But if you are innovating, mention the dishes, mention the ingredients, so the other person can have a clear picture what actually is going to be served. And we say there are four things. Suitability, desirability, and we say the cost factor and the acceptance or the appearance of that particular thing. Somebody may be liking a roti with rolled one, but somebody will be saying ना ये रोटी या सब्जी मिक्स क्यों कर दी, अलग अलग चाहिए, लेकिन कोई बोलता नहीं मुझे ऐसा पसंद है. So we cannot say it's a innovation or this. So what I believe, food is meant for your health purpose. Food is meant for your enjoyment. If it is in limit, same take example of alcohol. If you are drinking in a particular way, in a controlled way, it is good for your health. But if you go out of the way, then certain things can happen, right? So that is what my take is.
So one thing is happened with me. मैंने रेस्टोरेंट में गया है, एक गेस्ट बहुत ज्यादा हल्ला कर रहा है. हल्ला मन मीन्स एकदम लेफ्ट राइट ले रहा है. तो क्या, तो मेरे को बुला के बोल रहा है जो यू आर द शेफ. मैं बोला यस सर. दाल मखनी ऐसा बनता है. और ही ऑर्डर्ड दाल मखनी एंड रोटी. जब मैं पहले पहले झारखंड आया है उस टाइम का बात बोल रहा है. तो एक्चुअली लास्ट में पूरा सुनने के बाद हम इनको यही पूछा जाए सर आपको किस तरीके से चाहिए, अब बताइए. तो उन्होंने मेरे को ये जवाब दिया, साई जीरा का तड़का कहाँ है इसमें. दैट मीन्स ही वांट्स काली दाल तड़का. सो गेस्ट एजुकेशन भी जरूरी है. जो फूड के बारे में गेस्ट का नॉलेज भी होना जरूरी है. जो ऑथेंटिसिटी जो धीरे धीरे हम लोग जो लूज कर रहे हैं, जो हट जा रहा है, उसका कारण पीछे ये भी एक कारण है. जो सोशल मीडिया में जो तरीके से जो सर ने शेफ ने अब बोले हैं, जो एक समोसा बिरयानी, इट डजंट हैव एनी सेंस. तो इस तरीके से अगर फूड को अगर प्रेजेंट किया जा रहा है सोशल मीडिया में, तो ये शेफ लोगों के लिए आई थिंक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज हो जाता है कस्टमर डीलिंग के लिए.
Customer dealing is very difficult because of the food change. The customers want something which they have seen.
Maggi is also trending now.
I just don't understand what's happening in food in the industry. There's no authenticity anywhere. Like chefs like these are still maintaining it, but the new chefs, fusion ke naam pe, everything is going haywire. So please, students, children, don't do this. Just try and maintain the authenticity of the dish.
Just one word. See, before, everywhere, as madam is saying, like deconstruction. तो पहले deconstruction से पहले construction करना सीख लो, पहले building बनाना सीख लो, उसके बाद उसके ऊपर at least you should have the knowledge of the base कि ये कैसे बनता है, क्या बनता है, then only go for innovation.
आप लोग सब बैक ऑफिस के सूरमा हैं, मैं फ्रंट ऑफिस की बात करता हूं जहां पे कंज्यूमर है. A tourist or a person or a guest who comes to our place, वो एक्सपीरियंस करना चाह रहा है. उस एक्सपीरियंस में कुछ एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन शामिल है, बट एवरी इंडिविजुअल हैज हिज और हर ओन लिमिट्स टू एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन. कि मैं क्या खा सकता हूँ, फॉर एग्जांपल स्पाइसेस, या कितना हॉट मैं खा सकता हूँ, कितना नहीं कर सकता हूँ. वो चाहता है टू बी ingrained or to be initiated into a new culinary tradition, पर he wants to be initiated, wants to get initiated into a new culinary experience, पर वो हिम्मत नहीं कर पा रहा है. तो क्या हम लोग the providers can we move a couple of steps कि चलो तुम वहां तक नहीं आ रहे हो तो हम 2 कदम तुम्हारे पास आते हैं. We do something, we innovate something, so it's acceptable to you also. एक बार आप शुरू करिए, फिर आप मे बी ऑथेंटिक की तरफ मूव करेंगे, नहीं तो पहले डर के भाग जाएगा आपका कंज्यूमर. व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दिस?
This I will tell you first is like Chef said, you have to educate your customer first. Okay, this is how it is, and you have come for something authentic. Now, if I want to eat a dal makhani, I would prefer to go to Punjab to eat the right dal makhani. I should be open and I should have that vision that whatever it is, I'll accept it. If your customer is not ready to accept, you cannot change it for your people. Like, yeah, you can educate the person, first tell them this is how it is. And if he accepts it, it's fine. Because anybody will not take the taste in the first attempt. It has to inculcate with with your palate. Then only you will enjoy the food. So you cannot expect your customer for enjoying the food first time itself. You have to wait for 2 3 bites and then you should accept it. So you have to give them time.
So
I think it has to rightly communicate. So sometimes what happens is that I observe that we create but we don't communicate. Hello? Hello? So what I meant is that it should be nicely communicated. You make it, but if it is not communicated to the customer in the right way, example, you are making a deconstructed dish. And if it is not communicated by the servers that this is how you have deconstructed and then you have to reconstruct it, then the entire system is very confusing. So that's most important part of this is creation and also communication. If it is communicated well, believe me, the customers are, I'm not saying that social media is bad. Saying that there are goods and bads of it. Social media has, like now I am here, I can see what my chef is doing in Malaysia or what is trending right now. And we have to be on trends. We have to definitely follow, or we have to definitely, take inspiration from what other chefs are also doing. There's no harm in that. To take inspiration and glamorize your food or maybe make it better or maybe do little eccentric approach to it. There's nothing wrong, but everything has to be proper. So what I do is I create, and I also go to the customer and I say, "Okay, sir, this is what the dish is." So it is the entire thing is falls into the right system.
That is what education means, educating your customer what you're serving.
Yeah.
So once he is educated, the customer is educated for what you're serving, then he'll accept it however it is. Because he will take it out from his mind, get what I seen, the food that one dish, this is a different one. So I'll accept the food how it is here. So this is how it should be educated first. So that
So, as I understand it, कि सिर्फ अच्छा preparation is not sufficient, उसका अच्छा interpretation भी होना चाहिए, which includes education and other elements, right?
I would say key food not only feed our stomach, it feeds our soul also. Yeah. So we always have to keep not only we should not restrict to our only authenticity. Rather than we should see the guests, request as well. And a day-to-day daily life, we come across such situations wherein we have got players, international players, but then they would like to have Indian food, which is known for hot, तीखा के ले जाना जाता है, but they want to taste. तब हमको होता है कि उनके टेस्ट को, उनकी जरूरतों को जाने और उसके बगैर उनको इन्फॉर्म करके भाई इतने लेवल का स्पाइस होगा और हम फिर मॉडरेटली उसको हम थोड़ा चेंज कर सकते हैं.
And the
which
good
is
news
acceptable for them.
is, and the good news is that people today are more open to experimenting,
Exactly. आज के बच्चे
searching for authentic tastes
Exactly.
more than ever before.
Yes,
When we
आज
talk
के बच्चे
about-
अगर देखें तो सिर्फ सब्जी रोटी देंगे तो नहीं खाएंगे. उसको थोड़ा सा आप रोल बना दिए, वही आलू, वही पराठा रोल कर दिए, थोड़ा सा टमाटो जूस दे दिए, भाई रैप है आपके लिए खाओ, तो रैप झटके से खा लेंगे.
when
Yeah.
you say culture and tourism, see, we are going to travel to a place, we know this food is the most popular dish in town. Like you go to Ambur, you want to go taste the Ambur biryani. He will not change it for you. He will not change it. He will have the same recipe going. You have to come with the open mind saying that this Ambur biryani, even if it is spicy, if it is not, I don't like it. Maybe I don't like the palate. Yeah, different. So it is, I have to have an open mind as a customer, and we have to tell the customer, see, this is what it is. please have an open mind and come and taste the food. So people are not going to change according to them. Then what is the meaning of authenticity? It's gone. If I change for every customer whatever they want, then my food is not the same what I do. So it becomes Indian, like the Chinese, the original Chinese, the Indian Chinese. Yeah. Like you said, the Chinese won't know what it is.
We'll go to the next round now. And इसके बिना तो कोई डिस्कशन पूरा नहीं होगा कोविड. So we had COVID. I mean, काफी टाइम हो गया. And we had certain assumptions कि चीजें ऐसे बदल जाएंगी कोविड के बाद. And now it's like 2-3 years post COVID. जो हमने सोचा था, जो आप लोग आज देख रहे हैं on the ground, I would like to have a quick comment from each one of you. What do you think has changed post COVID, and what do you think is the change that's going to stay? कौन सा ऐसा relatively permanent change हुआ है culinary tradition में जो आप लोग देख रहे हैं? We start with you, Asit sir.
कोविड में हम लोगों को जो हालत हुआ था होटल इंडस्ट्री का, वो किसी को बताने का जरूरत नहीं है. बट आफ्टर कोविड डेफिनेटली मार्केट में हलचल आया है, बिजनेस का ग्रोथ हुआ है, ट्रैवल बढ़ गया है. जिन लोगों को वर्क फ्रॉम होम था उन लोगों को फिर ऑफिस में बुलाया जा रहा है. ट्रैवल बढ़ गया. हमारा होटल का ऑक्यूपेंसी नियर अबाउट 80% हमेशा रहता है पूरा साल भर. दैट मीन्स इट वर्क्स. बट एट द सेम टाइम जो अगर F&B सर्विस अगर हम बोलेंगे तो F&B सर्विस में थोड़ा बहुत तो इधर उधर है, जो एकदम 100% हम लोग जो पहले जो था ऐसा ही बोल के हम नहीं बोल पाएंगे, कि वो तो नया नया रेस्टोरेंट नया नया कॉन्सेप्ट लेके आ रहा है, तो उसमें जो पब्लिक जो है उसमें उसके ऊपर ज्यादा अट्रैक्ट हो रहा है. वट एवर इट इज, इट मे बी गुड और बैड. तो आफ्टर 6 months 7 months 8 months उसके बाद जब उसको टेस्ट को जरूरत है फिर दे विल कम बैक. तो ये हालत है अभी का सिचुएशन, अभी का मार्केट.
कोविड ने जब कोविड था तो हालात ऐसे थे कि बाहर मार्केट सब बंद था, रेस्टोरेंट बंद थे. तो कोविड ने सबको शेफ बना दिया. ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात. यस, आज के दिन में जो गेस्ट आ रहे हैं वो खुद से बनाए, एक्सपीरियंस किए, खाए, टेस्ट किए और अपना टेस्ट उनको मालूम है. अब जब होटल में आते हैं तो दे लुक फॉर ऑथेंटिसिटी. अगर कुछ आपने अपने आए बाएँ किया, कुछ भी उधर उधर हो गया तो समझ में आता है उनको कि टेस्ट क्या है. तो मैं कहना चाहूँगा एक वर्ड में कि आज कोविड के बाद में गेस्ट ज़्यादा समझदार और टेस्ट को समझने वाले हो गए हैं.
ज्यादा एक्सपेरिमेंट भी करने के लिए ओपन हो गया है. उसने अपना बनाया हुआ खाया है,
हाँ,
वो ओरिजिनल भी और ऑथेंटिक भी खाना चाह रहा है.
कोविड ने हर दूसरा आदमी को शेफ बना दिया. मैं एक बार
बिल्कुल. नहीं तो जब वो शेफ बन गया और उसने इटालियन घर पे ट्राई किया, अब उसका कुछ टेस्ट डेवलप हो गया है. अब वो पोस्ट कोविड एक्चुअल में जाके ऑथेंटिक इटालियन भी खाना चाह रहा है. क्या इस तरह के ट्रेंड्स हमें दिख रहे हैं?
बिल्कुल दिख रहे हो.
पीपल आर डिमांडिंग.
यस
सर, मैं कोविड के टाइम पे झारखंड आया. 18 साल के बाद मैं झारखंड अपने पेरेंट्स के पास लॉन्ग टाइम के लिए आया. तो आई गॉट ए प्रोजेक्ट फ्रॉम राउंड ग्लास थाली, जहां मैंने 180 रेसिपीज यहाँ पर रिसर्च किया उस टाइम पे. सो आई वॉज नेवर आइडल, आई वॉज ऑलवेज वर्किंग एट दैट टाइम. ऑल्सो आई मेट लॉट ऑफ पीपल ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम जिनको मैं नहीं जानता था, एंड इट वॉज अ गुड चेंज फॉर मी फॉर श्योर. And what I saw now is the workforce is less in the industry. There are a lot of people who changed. They were very, very good chefs, but because of COVID, they changed their work and they become something else. तो हमारी इंडस्ट्री में मुझे लगता है कि हमारी वर्कफोर्स की बहुत ही ज्यादा जरूरत है. टेक्निकल स्किल्ड पीपल वी डोंट हैव. We don't find the right committed gangs as well. पहले किसी को आप पूछो तो फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि कितना पैसा मिलेगा, काइंड ऑफ. ओके, तो मुझे थोड़ा सा हम लोग को इसमें स्ट्रगल हो रहा है. ओके, दैट वी आर नॉट फाइंडिंग ग्रेट कमिटेड स्किल्ड गाइज बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव चेंज्ड. Of course, after COVID, things have opened up big time, sir. Big time. Every F&B establishment is going full. People are making good money. The international restaurant are also welcoming Indian food. And being an Indian, I prefer to make biryani than risotto because it gives me more authentic, it makes it more authentic, it's also very satisfying. और growth हुआ है regional Indian food का, not only northwest frontier but south, east, west, सब तरह के cuisines को लोग appreciate कर रहे हैं. अब हम झारखंड भी आ गए हैं सर, यहाँ पर भी लोगों को आप डॉक्टर भूपेश ने लिखे आए हैं सबको, अभी सब जगह जाके टेस्ट भी करेंगे. सो आई थिंक दिस गुड चेंज इन द सिस्टम दैट आई कैन सी.
My question to you is कि कोविड में जो कंफाइनमेंट था घर में और लोगों ने एक्सपेरिमेंट किया, खुद बनाया, एंड दे आर पीपल आई नो जो काफी अच्छा प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं अब, तो हाउ डज दैट इम्पैक्ट द इंडस्ट्री?
इट इज डेफिनेटली वेरी इम्पैक्टफुल. अब सारे शेफ संजीव कपूर बन गए.
हाँ, तो वो डिमांड को बढ़ा रहे हैं मार्केट में,
सर,
या वो डिमांड को सब्स्टिट्यूट कर रहे हैं कि यार बाहर कौन खाएगा, अपन खुद भी सीख गए, we do it on our own?
no, now you cannot take things for granted. Even if you're a great chef, you need to really do it very well. Even when we do culinary demonstration, we're also very careful. Even Chef Sanjeev Kapoor is also very careful कि भाई क्या दिखा रहे हैं, because people cook so much कि हमारी नौकरी खतरे में पड़ी सर, seriously, frankly speaking.
मेरा हाइपोथेसिस यही था कि क्या आपकी नौकरी खतरे में है?
बिल्कुल सर, we are more careful actually.
Okay.
COVID has actually taught us a lot of things. सबसे पहले तो रिलेशन की इंपॉर्टेंस दिखाना सीखा है. COVID has given us the term called immunity. पहले हम लोग इम्यूनिटी के बारे में सोचते थे नहीं थे सर, बट व्हेन कोविड केम देन वी अंडरस्टैंड कि यार इम्यूनिटी बूस्ट करना है हर जगह, हर इंग्रेडिएंट सुपर फूड, इम्यूनिटी ऐसे बूस्ट होगा. देन द टूरिज्म वाज देयर, वेलनेस एंड हेल्थ वाज देयर, बट आफ्टर कोविड वी हैव अंडरस्टूड द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ इट. यस, इट इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग एज शेफ वाज सेइंग आल्सो कि वी हैव अंडरस्टैंड एंड कॉइन टर्म जो भी चल रहा है आजकल, वोकल फॉर लोकल. Vocal for local, that means if we are having that, we know about the local, then only the regional cuisine flourish. The students, you need to first of all understand कि जहाँ भी हो, we are a part of India, जहाँ भी हो, we should feel proud about our cuisine. We should understand the ingredients, इनका role क्या है. Last year, we were celebrating millets here. And everyone is going behind, millets. लेकिन ये नहीं पता कब कौन सा millets खाना है, कब कितना खाना है. तो इसका मतलब आप ज्यादा मिलेट खाओगे तब भी दिक्कत है, और कम खाओगे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन कितनी राइट क्वांटिटी है, दैट नीड टू बी अंडरस्टैंड. इम्यूनिटी हर चीज देती है. वही अगर हींग आप थोड़ी सी देते हो तो आपको आराम देता है, वही हींग ज्यादा खा लो तो आपको वही हींग दिक्कत देता है. दैट मीन्स फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हैव द नॉलेज ऑफ द लोकल इंग्रेडिएंट्स. अभी मिस्टर भूपेश वाज हियर, डॉक्टर भूपेश वाज हियर, सो वी से मडुआ मैन, एंड उन मडुआ मैन के टैग से बहुत सारे लोगों को मडुआ है क्या, रागी अलग अलग नाम से हर जगह है. फिर लोगों ने उसके कुकीज बनाना, ये बनाना हर जगह सीखा. दैट मीन्स कुछ भी चीज होती है तो हम वी इंडियन शुड फील प्राउड कि हमारे पास हमेशा अल्टरनेटिव होता है और हम उस सस्टेन करना सीखते हैं. दैट मीन्स इफ यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट क्यूजीन, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इंग्रेडिएंट्स, यू शुड थिंक अबाउट द सस्टेनेबिलिटी ऑफ इट, यू शुड थिंक अबाउट द हेल्थ बेनिफिट्स ऑफ इट.
Can I just add one thing? Sir, nothing. हम अभी sustainability की बात कर रहे हैं. By the way, we were always sustainable. If we look at our civilization 5,000 years ago, Indus Valley, you'll find things what we are talking right now. We are talking about millets. Are millets new to us? No. Millets were always part of our diet. Right from the ancient, civilization says that it is part of our diet. But what happened in between? We lost track. We got into refined character of everything. In fact, we were refining millets as well in between. And so I think COVID is repercussion of all those negative moves that we have taken in the entire world. So we are back to roots, we are back to basics, we are back to simplicity. Less is more. To be, I think these are the seasonal, tasty. What Dr. Manisha is doing is absolutely what it is. But is she doing it new? No. She must have been doing it for several years, but now she is getting acknowledgement of what she has been doing. I just wanted to add.
5,000 साल पुरानी स्टोरी तो ये है कि हमारी कॉम्पिटेंसी नहीं थी नेचर को डिस्टर्ब करने की, वी
Correct,
नॉट
sir.
एबल.
Yeah.
तो अभी रिसेंटली एंथ्रोपोसीन में हमने आके ये माइट अर्न किया है कि जो मर्जी है कर सकते हैं हम. यू कैन ब्रिंग एनी इंग्रेडिएंट फ्रॉम एनी पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड एंड
अब बोलते हैं सूर्यास्त के बाद मत खाना खाओ, तो वैसे ही करते थे सर हम तो.
पहले तो वी वर इन सिंक विद नेचर. एनीवे, विल हैव योर टेक ऑन दिस.
Yeah, like Chef said, COVID has taught us a lot. And like he said, we've become all home chefs. Every lady's become a home chef. And who's enjoying that is Swiggy and Zomato. People have become so lazy to get out and go to the restaurants and enjoy the meal. They rather sit at home and just order for it, which tastes change the taste and the nutrients or whatever in it. People again, they have gone in for superfoods. They really don't know what is superfoods and how authentic and what is the quantity, like Chef said, what is the quantity should be intaked. But people all think they all have become professors and masters of the ingredients, which they should not. And this Swiggy and Zomato is spoiled everything. So I think we should try and minimize it as much as we can and use them minimally. Otherwise, our food changes the taste by the time it reaches them, and they say no, it's wrong. So COVID has done good and bad for us.
We'll have a last quick question before we start taking audience's queries. As I understand, आप लोग सब ये कह रहे हो कि authenticity is important. Authenticity is related to local. You're talking about कि मैं वापस झारखंड आया 135 recipes को हमने rediscover किया. Government of India का भी initiative है to boost rural tourism. Any tourism is competitively sustainable only when it is, received well by the local community. मतलब वो गांव के लोग, वो सोसाइटी के लोग. तो क्या मेरा क्वेश्चन आप लोगों से ये है कि क्या ये जो कलनरी ट्रेडिशन है, ऑथेंटिसिटी की बात आप लोग कर रहे हैं और इन सब, क्या इससे लोकल कम्युनिटी भी एम्पावर होती है? हाउ डू यू सी द रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन लोकल कम्युनिटी and the emerging trend of experimentation in culinary traditions? क्योंकि एक जगह आप सब भी ये सुनते हैं कि वो नानी वाली रेसिपी, दादी वाली रेसिपी, वी आर रीडिस्कवरिंग इट. तो उस तरह का रिसर्च भी बहुत हो रहा है. तो व्हाट्स योर टेक? असित से शुरू करें.
सर, मैं इसमें जो चीज़ बताना चाह रहा हूँ, मैं झारखंड की बात ही मैं कर रहा हूँ. झारखंड में अब जो बोले नानी वाली दादी वाली जो रेसिपी है, एग्जैक्टली हम वो सबको भूल जा रहा है हम लोग. ऑल द लॉस्ट रेसिपी. आज हमारे यहाँ पर कितने आदमी को पता है झारखंड का ही व्हाट इज लेटो? लेटो क्या है किसी को, माने जो झारखंडी है उसको भी पता नहीं है लेटो क्या है. वो ऑलमोस्ट माने खत्म होने जा रहा है. डुबकी, ये सब जो रेसिपी है ये कहाँ है? अभी है ही नहीं. तो मेरा ये बोलना है, जो पहले तो अपना रेसिपी को पहले ऑथेंटिक जो प्रॉपर रेसिपी है उसको तो पता हो जाए, वो पता हो, उसके बाद आप उसके ऊपर एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन जो भी करना है वो कर सकते हैं. पहले ओरिजिनल रेसिपी तो पता हो, मेरा ये बोलना है.
Yeah, what you're saying is the local produce? Yes. There is an empowerment with the local people, with the local produce, because COVID mein you couldn't get food or any other ingredients from outside. So what happened was people were forced to go on for the local food, local jo produce hai. So yes, they have empowered and they have taken a taste and the thing of their old recipes, saying that, yeah, this is our local food and this is the good one for us. So yes, it is an empowerment for the local farmers and the produce.
So I'm taking, hello, check. Yeah. Okay, hello. So I'm taking it a little further, by the way. Indian government is only empowering, and this year, I am sure all of you know what is Michelin star, right? It is about West awarding people who are doing great in it is not in India till now. And Indian government has now decided to give Annapurna awards. Okay, Indian government is giving Michelin award to other people. They are saying, no, we don't want Michelin to come and audit us, or we don't want to give them too much of money for all these things. So it's a great move. And whatever authentic stuff that we are doing, if we take this abroad, if we create a restaurant, run it for 3 years, of course, there are clauses to it. You'll get Annapurna award, which is as good as Michelin star. So isn't it a great, site for any chef or for any person who are doing great work in their own native land. It's phenomenal. And this year they have awarded 6 restaurants from different part of the world, from Ethiopia, from Colombia. No known restaurants, by the way. They called them. The owners were here, and I was present. Chef Manjeet Singh Gill and Dr. Pant was in the jury. They actually, gave it to the government to award, and everyone was called, and they were given so much of honor. So it is absolutely phenomenal that these local, dishes are gonna be served in abroad, and the principle, the food has to be on the line of Ayurveda. That's the, uh, definitely a top point for for that restaurant जो आप बना रहे हो, और कहीं नहीं कहीं whatever we are doing is according to Ayurveda.
Can we have the last word from Chef Ram?
You are talking about village tourism.
Yeah. गांव वाला या कम्युनिटी जो उस प्रोड्यूस
हाँ।
को का ओनर है एक तरह से,
बिल्कुल।
उनका एम्पावरमेंट हो
तो
रहा है।
मुझे लगता है कि विलेज टूरिज्म को बढ़ावा देना चाहिए, और तब तक जहां तक
विलेज टूरिज्म को तो बढ़ावा दिया जा रहा है कि आप फूड का रास्ता भी उसमें ऐड करता है।
बिल्कुल करता है, उसमें बिल्कुल करता है। जैसे कि मैंने पहले भी कहा था, जब ये विलेज टूरिज्म डेवलप हो जाएगा तो लोग अपने एक्सपीरियंस को विलेज में जाके एक्सप्लोर करना चाहेंगे, और जाहिर बात है कि जब वहाँ विलेज का फूड एक्सप्लोर करेंगे तो लोग में अवेयरनेस आएगा, और फिर वो लोग भी उनके ऑथेंटिसिटी के साथ साथ उनके टेस्ट को भी जानेंगे, और उसके हिसाब से थोड़ा मॉडरेट चेंज करके डेवलप कर सकते हैं।
अच्छी खबर ये है
जी।
कि हम लोग सब ऑडियंस को जगाए रखने में कामयाब हुए हैं। They have- और इसका जो एविडेंस है वो ये है कि they have some questions. So let us take some questions from the audience also, because organizers मुझे घड़ी भी दिखा रहे हैं। Yes. आप प्लीज अपने आप को फॉर द सर, आपको ऐसे सब जानते हैं पर
हाँ, मैं एस.सी. बागड़ी हूँ। मैं डॉक्टर साहब ने अभी आपसे विलेज टूरिज्म के बारे में पूछा। मेरी एक छोटी सी बात, एक्चुअली विलेज टूरिज्म में जो खाना है उसको हम तब प्रमोट कर सकते हैं यदि हम उस कॉपर के बर्तन होते हैं जो पुराने समय से यूज करते थे, और अगर आपको ह्यूमिनिटी बढ़ानी है तो ब्रासवेयर पे आपको खाना खिलाना चाहिए। गांव वाले खिलाते हैं। और जो आपको गुस्सा ज्यादा आता है, किसी टूरिस्ट को गुस्सा, कोई जिसकी पित्त बढ़ जाते हैं, जो वैदिक फूड है, तो उसको सिल्वर के उस पर खाना देना चाहिए। यह हमारी वैदिक पद्धति थी जिसको उन्हें लॉस्ट कर दिया। तो गांव में आज भी, मुझे यहाँ के गांव के बारे में पता नहीं है, पर हिमाचल और उत्तराखंड के गांव के बारे में पता है, कॉपर के बर्तन ज्यादा करके सामूहिक जो गांव में जो फंक्शंस होते हैं, कॉपर के बर्तनों में खाना सर्व किया जाता है। और ब्रास की जो थालियां होती हैं वो अभी भी गांव में हैं। और वो कुछ कुछ जो रेस्टोरेंट हैं, ये मतलब जो ऋषिकेश में खुले हैं, जो कि थोड़ा सा खाने खिलाते हैं, वो भी इस ब्रास के थाली में भी खाना सर्व करते हैं। थैंक यू।
The gentleman with a question. उधर
Good afternoon, chefs. I'm Kumar Abhishek Rao, a co-founder of the Open Field. So let me just start with this. Paratha and bhujia are also deconstructed samosa. But coming back to the main question, largely Indian food or food in India, which is served in restaurants, is considered North Indian, mostly Mughlai or Punjabi. Other regions are less represented, and places like Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh they are sometimes even frowned upon. And this comes from the personal experience. So what do you think is actually the way out? How do places like ours actually find more representation in the restaurant food?
who takes
As the question is like the most important thing is you are talking about the regional cuisines of different places, right? So if we are talking about Jharkhand food or any other places of food, the most important thing is, first of all, we need to have the taste of it, right? As the presentation, Dr. Manisha has shown us the picture. We are not from this place, but we have seen the ant chutney, we have seen the different, the flour that what she was making it. That means the documentation is very much required, and the awareness among the others, which is we say promotion. So if you are informing us, you are letting us know this food will taste like this, then people will prefer it. So initially, Mughlai food or Punjabi food was very much popular on the northern cuisine because it was the food which was served everywhere. So slowly, the indigenous culture, indigenous ingredients which are here, or every food has its own, place as its own food. So that means the IHM colleges, the local colleges, all need to support. As today we have had that Jharkhandi food or Ranchi food from here. Then we came to know about the taste. Next time, if we are going somewhere, we can say, this food is good. We can plan in our menu. Mr. Dr. Bhupesh is expert in this. We were in Delhi, so he was with us. So we have in our, food production practical, we have Bihari cuisine. Till that time, we are talking about 7 or 8 years ago. So that time, litti chokha was only we were aware. Then kathal ke, parwal ki dish and this. So that means you need to promote, you need to make aware, and the best part is documentation. Why we are lacking? We don't have documentation. We are talking about authentic. But what I believe is nothing is authentic. What is there is traditional. So in that way, we can promote it.
I would say presentation. Nowadays, people first see what they eat and then eat the food. So if you have a good presentation of the same authentic food, it makes a difference. Now you can take Chef Nishant. He does a tremendous presentation, even if I wouldn't want to eat that dish. Now you're telling me about the red ant chutney. I wouldn't eat it, but in case if it is in a beautiful presentation and I know the history of it, I would love to eat it and try it. So main thing, yes, we do eat from our eyes first. If I don't like the food to look at, I never eat. So it comes to everybody. So presentation is the most important and key to your promotion.
जो दिखता है वो बिकता है। और ऑन ए लाइटर नोट, आज हमें नॉर्थ इंडियन नहीं मिला, एक झारखंडी था और एक गोवा था, तो चेंज हो रहा है। यस, शी हैज अ, अच्छा,
Yes, sir.
प्लीज।
Hello, ma'am.
हाँ प्लीज।
My question is for Jamila, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to know what challenges did you face while developing your career as a women chef?
Challenges?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't think it's a real blessing to be a woman chef. I get a lot of respect and I feel honored and welcomed wherever I go. So this industry is done an excellent backing for me. So I never regret and I don't have any. I'm friends with everybody, so you're welcome anytime. And you being a chef, excellent. Go ahead. Women chefs are more important now. Being a good chef is important. Knowing your ingredients, which marries what, is very important in food. It's not only theory or it is just not the recipes. Please don't be a horse like whatever is taught. This is what it is. No, please work with your heart and cook with your heart is the most important.
Hello, everyone.
So मैं तो बाहर हूँ।
And 5 chefs are there, but there is only one female out of this. So that is the curiosity, you can say inquisitiveness in the people around. We generally say see male chefs in the industry most of the time. So that's how this question goes to these youngsters, that being a female, will we get a space in the industry? So that you need to convince her, so that if such females are there, they should not be having that fear factor or that inquisitiveness that will I be accepted by this community.
So the message is कि तुम तैयारी करो, world is out there to welcome you, right?
They welcome you with open
Hello, everyone.
We have this last question because we have to wind up the session also, please.
Last but not the least,
Of course.
hello, everyone. My name is Praveen. I'm editor of Hello Life magazine, media partner of this event. If, as we discussed, food is an evolving process. So where you think the future of food lie? I mean, are we going to eat dal chawal the way we want? We are eating right now, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line. So I'm talking about the future of food. Where do you think we are going? Thank you.
I think comfort going exotic would be the trend. whatever comfort dishes that we can think of, we would make it exotic. But again, keeping the simplicity of the ingredient or the recipe alive, it'll be very amazing presentation that you can see. And whatever background you are coming from, if you can carry that food to your native restaurant or to your industry or to your restaurant abroad, I think you can make or break and you can do amazing thing in this world. I am from Jharkhand, so I should be serving my Jharkhand food. I think that will give me more happiness, more satisfaction, and I can communicate the same to my customer in a very, very amazing manner. So I think this is how it should be.
Dal chawal from 5 years from now, it will be the same. That's the most comforting food. So that will never ever change. Maybe presented in a different style, but it will be dal chawal at the end of the day.
So whoever star chefs that you can see abroad, be it Gagan Anand, Garima Arora, they are Indian. They are bringing Indian food in the table. They are not making Western food. Of course, there's no problem in learning any cuisine in this world. We should not curb our knowledge, but you will get more certificate, you'll share more happiness if you bring that kind of food that you are nurtured on. Convenience food will always remain. No ways. No ways. Of course, no way. No, of course, no ways. Of course, no ways.
See, like
So,
convenience, which as you were discussing about, like वो क्या है according to situation है. So जो खाना है कहीं भी आप जाते हो, बहुत जगह आप जाते होंगे पार्टीज में बहुत कुछ खाए, लेकिन जब घर में जाके वो खाते हो ना दाल चावल जो भी कुछ खाते हो तभी पेट भरता है. We are a chef and I say कि 80 or 90% of us we go to party we never eat. We go to our home, we eat that food and we feel, we are satisfied. That means that is the thing. Situation requires that according to situation we act. But the way you are brought up, the way you are eating, it will never go.
So we'll end this discussion on a note कि है वो दाल चावल ही, पर अगर कुछ और लग रहा है तो it's Nishant's doing, कुछ इन्होंने किया हुआ है. Right? So with that, I'll take this opportunity to thank this very accomplished and very illuminated panel who helped me carry forward this discussion. And thank you all for being a very, very good audience. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'd like to extend my thanks to our chairman of the session, Professor Nimit Chaudhary, who handled the session very beautifully. Because when he arrived, he said, what I am supposed to ask, how the panel discussion should go about. I said, I don't want to, basically, my ideas or my concept to be dominating throughout the day. So it's better you are an expert. We have been reading his articles. Lot of good articles are coming, especially post-COVID. Lot of articles have come through him. So I wanted my audience, all the participants present here and online, to have the real essence coming out from him. And he rightly handled the panel discussion. The app questions were there with the safes. I think safes were also very happy answering those questions. And we also looking forward for such type of questions also coming out. So definitely it was for me, if to conclude, what they have to say is stick to the basics, but be ready for the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, panelists.
And one more thing, just now I got a message. I think many mobiles have received the message. Padam Shri Saif Imtiaz Qureshi is no more with us. So please, let's pay homage for 2 minutes for him. I request everyone. Just now I received this message. Thank you. Om Shanti.
It's my honor. I received 2 gold medals from Imtiaz Qureshi sir. And in that competition in Bangalore, I was the highest gold medalist. I won 8 gold medal. I attend 8 categories. I won 8 gold medal. On the stage, he told me, "Tu India mein chhai jayega chef. Tera naam duniya mein hoga." And I had done it. My name at least gone to 57 countries by the blessing of him. Thank you so much, chef. Thank you so much.
We'll just felicitate these esteemed judges or other speakers. We'll start with Professor Nimit Chaudhary, the panel chair cum moderator. Master Chef Jamila Zake. Chef Dr. Prem Ram. Chef Nishant Chaube. Chef Ramchandra Oraon. And Chef Asit Kundu.
My partner team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, speakers. Thank you, Chef. To continue further, I would like to invite on stage Ms. Vidya Honhanga.
Thank you, Aditya. We will move forward with the technical session. Because of the time constraint, we are merging all the technical sessions together. Every presenter will get 5 minutes precisely. I request all paper presenters to please maintain the time frame. Without any further delay, I welcome the chairpersons. Mr. I would like to welcome our chair members, Dr. Satveer Singh, Director Studies, National Council Hotel Management, Catering and Technology, Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Pankaj Chatterjee, Assistant Registrar, Establishment and HOD, Hotel Management, RKDF University, Ranchi. Mr. Ashwini Kumar, Assistant Director Studies, National Council Hotel Management, Catering and Technology, Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Dr. Abhinav Sindhyal, Associate Professor and Head Department of HNCT, BIT Misra, Ranchi. Mr. Sandipan Biswas, Head Academics, IIAS, School of Management, Siliguri, West Bengal. Dr. Nirpendra Lingwal, Principal, Food Crafts Institute, Deoghar, Jharkhand. I request our first paper presenter, Ms. For our first paper presentation, I invite Mr. Dev Prita Das on the topic of examining the taste, a true examination of culinary tourism, development and effects.
The paper presenter will be getting just 5 minutes for the presentation. So time को थोड़ा सा उस हिसाब से करिएगा, please, everyone.
Hello.
Please start. You can start, please.
One.
Good afternoon, everyone present here. Obviously my faculty members and my colleagues and also my juniors who all are present here. So myself Debarpita and I'm from IHM Kolkata. Presently I'm doing my postgrads from that very institute and I'm a final year student MSc in Human Resource Management. Okay, so today I will be talking about culinary tourism. So what actually culinary tourism deals with? It's actually a delightful way to explore a destination through its food, its flavors, and its culinary traditions. Like today, we all have assembled here for an international conference and our venue is IHM Rachi. So, as we are from West Bengal, we have different culture and traditions along with different fruit habits on which we are adapted with. And here IHM Rachi is portraying something different according to their cultures. So it's all about culinary
Please,
tourism.
please go to your research question or hypothesis if you have.
Okay. So the next slide is benefits of culinary tourism. First point I have is healthy and
Change the
fresh.
slide.
Change the slide, please. So the first point it deals with healthy and fresh. The second one is cultural immersion, and the third one is scenario experience. So what is healthy and fresh? Healthy and fresh is basically culinary tourism promotes healthy and fresh vegetables and fish eating from the local markets to its people who all are visiting there. And cultural immersion is something which is it provides an opportunity to engage with local chefs, how they used to cook their foods and what actually the recipe is, and learn the traditional cooking methods, and gain an insight into the regional's culinary heritage. And sensory experience is actually culinary tourism engages all the senses from savoring unique flavors to enjoying the ambience and aesthetic
Please go
presentation
to
of the
research
dishes.
question if you have.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have not included it in my PPT. Uh, uh, yes, sir. So my objective of my research was to gain knowledge about developments in culinary tourism, and the second one is to examine the impact of gastronomic travels. So, yes. So,
Hello.
after doing this research, I have understood about the various cultures and heritage what different peoples used to have according to their own cultures. So, like we Bengalis have different kind of culture, and here the Jharkhand people have different kind of culture. I did my BSc from Assam, so they have different kind of culture. So, according to the state and according to the people, all these cultures actually varies.
Okay, so which method you have applied for this work?
So for my primary research, I have adopted Likert scale, and for my secondary research, I have adopted magazines, websites.
But I can't see any analysis, descriptive analysis. If you have done primary analysis, like a scale was used. So where is the analysis?
Sir, it's in my paper which I've submitted over here.
So see, when you are doing any work, there should be proper format. It should
Yes, sir.
include research methodology. It should include the outcome, implications, that to theoretical and practical implication, and finally conclusion. So what you have presented, there is nothing clear to us. You are a student?
Yes, sir.
So to start with, it's fine. But next time, whenever you are presenting, be sure that you are including research questions or hypothesis. Methodology should be clearly mentioned. What is the outcome of the work and what is the implication of the work. That should be included in your presentation.
Okay,
Right?
sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir, for your
Analyst, if
feedback.
any question from?
Thank
Thank you. Next.
Our next paper presenter, Mr. Aryan Mohan, Charanjit Sharma, and Abhishek on the topic of Bhojpuri cuisine as a culinary tourism experience in Bihar.
So good evening to one and all present here. This is Arya Mohan along with my colleague Chanchalik Sharma, and we are here to present our research on the topic Bhojpuri cuisine as a culinary tourism experience in Bihar, which is authored by me, Chanchalik Sharma, and Abhishek Kumar. Okay. So these are the contents.
Sir, let us hear what they have come up with the preparation. Actually, I mean, they are the budding researcher, so let them give them a chance, at least 5-6 minutes. Huh? Yeah, we understand, sir. Let them. I mean, you can tell your topic and come up to the objective and any research methodology you have taken, hypothesis and conclusion. That's it.
So the first objective of our presentation is to understand the culinary experience of tourists visiting Bihar with a specific of Bhojpuri dishes. Then we have to explore various factors associated with Bhojpuri culinary tourism experience. And the aim of the study is the aim to investigate the potential of Bhojpuri cuisine as a driver for culinary tourism. So the methodology that we used is, we used exploratory research using quantitative research methodology. We use self-administered survey with 16 questionnaire. So we are targeting the 150 respondents, but we ended the questionnaire at 121 respondents. MS Excel and RNR Studios are some of the tools that we used for the analysis and visualization. Let's come to the data analysis. So most of the participants belong to the age group of 18 to 24. There is a equal distribution of gender between the respondents. Most of the respondents have a prior visit to Bihar for culinary experience. Most of the respondents have prior familiarity with the Bhojpuri dishes. Participation in culinary activities in Bihar seems to be a negative because most of the respondents have not participated in any culinary activities in Bihar related to the Bhojpuri cuisine. Most of the respondents recommend Bhojpuri cuisine to others. Now, my colleague Chanchari will explain.
So continuing, we also explored the questions of importance of local culinary tourism from the respondents. And they said that the culinary tourism is very much important for Bihar as people are not much known to the cuisines, which we got as comments in the additional section. Then we sought to know the contribution of promoting Bhojpuri cuisine to Bihar tourism industry. And majority of the respondents said that it is very important. And most of the people enjoyed the cultural connection of Bhojpuri cuisine with the localites, and the satisfaction was very satisfied. So to conduct a correlation test, we coded the variables from 1 to 13 according to our questions, and post that we conducted a correlation test, and the heat map for the correlation test is this. The green line shows the mirror line where the top and the bottom are mirror of each other. The areas marked with red asterisks show positive, so moderately positive correlation between the variables. And models were created for simple linear regression. And the models were moderately positive correlation, had weak positive correlation, and strong negative correlation was studied for further analysis. And based on this, we brought up some discussion points, which was enhancing overall satisfaction. That is, we should focus more on the culinary experience in Bihar so as to enhance the overall satisfaction during the tourist visit. There should be a target of Bihar visitors. They should be diversely. The culinary offerings should be diverse, and incentives should be given to localites to promote and engage the Bihari culinary experience. There should be leverage positive experiences. We should encourage positive changes like digitalizing the culinary experience and using word of mouth as a marketing technique. Other points of discussion are building awareness. As I said, that using digital methods to spread awareness about the Bhojpuri cuisine and letting people know what they can get when they are coming to Bihar for their taste. Then engagement opportunities. There should be hands-on experience. There should be activities where people indulge in making cuisines and getting to know what all is going into the cuisine. And the conclusions that we got were, there is strong interest in exploring the region with high satisfaction rates. The local recommendations and visual appeal are a major factor that promote culinary tourism in Bihar. The significance of familiarity positively affected the impact of tourists, and the major thing was the awareness that they had and education that they had regarding the Bihari culture and the Bhojpuri cuisine. 95.9% of the respondents were willing to recommend Bhojpuri cuisine to others. And the crucial role of loyal culinary experiences in shaping tourist perception was another conclusion that we got. Some limitations that we saw were that while conducting our research, the demographics was skewed more towards the younger generation, so we didn't get a perspective of the elderly majorly. And other was that there was very limited data that was based on Bhojpuri culinary tourism or Bhojpuri cuisine. So we had to take up data online, and we had to rely on self-reported data as well. And future researchers could indulge outbound travelers as well as the localites. Our main focus was on the inbound tourists that were traveling to Bihar for culinary experiences. Thank you.
So like 16 questionnaires has been filled.
Yes, sir. So in which 3 of the questions were not having a numerical value, so we couldn't add them up in the correlation and simple linear matrix.
So if you want, if you want to know in one line or one sentence, what is the outcome of your research?
So in this research, we got to know that majority of our respondents had priorly visit Bihar for tourism, but they had not experienced much in the culinary aspect. And the main problem that they sought was that there was no knowledge about Bhojpuri cuisine. So what the problem we saw and what the main conclusion is that there should be more awareness and promotion of the Bhojpuri cuisine by the government, and initiative should be taken so as to let people know more about it. So localites themselves can take place in this, but so the point is that funding becomes a major problem. So local governing bodies or the localites that have much power can indulge in promoting Bhojpuri cuisine. And also the youngsters, they can digitally upskill the Bhojpuri cuisine and let people know what people can get when they are coming to Bihar.
All right. May I? Yes.
So actually, the sampling was convenience based because during when we are talking about some local culinary experience, so that in that time we can't just take a small perception. So we put out the questionnaires on our WhatsApp groups, on our statuses, even on LinkedIn, so that more and more people from Pan India can fill in. And we have entries from Pan India as well, from various places. Yes, sir.
All right. I have 2 questions. One is regarding your questionnaire. So just wanted to know, while preparing, framing the questionnaire, what things were there in your mind? how were you putting up the questions?
So the questions were put up based on what we saw. So actually the data that we got was totally unavailable for Bhojpuri cuisine. So we took up data that was available for regional cuisines in India. And depending upon that, we saw that where are the problems, that there was no connection to what people saw when they are going for something to try something. So we added up questions for culinary experience, then what was their recommendation, and what was the overall impact. So, sir, what we saw in those questions, in those researches, was that the researchers only focused on what the people had there, not what recommended them or what enthusiased them to take up the culinary.
Do you perceive that a day will come when people will visit the place not because of the attraction of the place but because of the cuisine?
Yes, sir. So there can be, because sir, Bhojpuri cuisine,
Very
as
optimistic,
as we saw, so Bhojpuri cuisine is very diverse. There is a mixture of spices. There is a
Do you
mixture
think
of-
people will travel for having the food to that place?
Yes, sir. So
just
surely,
for having the food to
surely
that
they
place?
will. So surely they will.
All right, good luck to you. Just to answer one thing about the questionnaire, that whenever you frame questions,
Yes,
and
sir.
it is for everybody, those who are doing, coming into the research,
Yes,
those
sir.
who are, scholars, that whenever you frame the questions, the objectives has to be in your mind.
Yes, sir.
So whatever objectives you have taken, you frame the question accordingly, and so that you can frame hypothesis accordingly, and then conclusion can be derived. All right.
Okay. Thank you for your input, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Moving
sir.
forward to the next paper presenter, I would like to invite Mr. Tom Thomas on the topic of edible cutlery using millets, a sustainable alternative to traditional plastic cutlery. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Thomas, and I'm here to present a research on edible cutlery using millets, a sustainable alternative to traditional plastic cutlery. Now, before I move on, I'd like to take this stage to thank two very important persons, because without them, this research would not have been possible. They are third-year students, Mr. Saransh Soni and Alankrit Sahai. They worked very hard in creating the cutlery, which we are able to present in front of you. So it's on a prototype stage as of now. We are still working on it. It's been 2-3 months that we've been working on this research, and this is the stage we have reached. Now, coming to the aims and objectives. The main reason behind setting up this research was to develop eco-friendly cutlery, to come up with a solution which can be to create a sustainable alternative to traditional plastic cutleries, and to reduce the use of single-use plastic, especially in informal sector. Informal sector, already there is a lot of awareness regarding usage of edible cutleries. People are using sugarcane and wheat bran cutleries. But in informal sector, it is still people don't know, and there is no awareness. So the basic agenda of doing, or aim of doing this research, was to create a prototype which can be used in informal sector. Can we move to the next slide, please? The research methodology which we used is experimental research. We did a lot of trial and errors. I have already mentioned it took around 3 months for us to reach a stage where we have reached. We have worked up on more than 10 recipes, and finally we have zeroed it onto the recipe which we feel is ready to launch. Next, please. Can we move next, please? Okay. So what is edible cutlery? Edible cutleries are cutleries which are made by using plant resources. They can be they can be millet, they can be sorghum, they can be rice, wheat, etc. It is biodegradable. Not all cutlery which are biodegradable are edible. There are cutleries which are made by using bamboo also. They are not edible, but edible cutlery is something which is biodegradable and edible. So what was the need to substitute plastic cutlery? There was a research from Terry in 2018 where they have mentioned that of all the plastic that has been produced till now in the world, only 4% of it has been recycled. So around 6.5 billion tons of plastic has gone to waste. It is either in the landfills or in the ocean. And this is 2018 we are talking about. Now we are sitting in 2024. So 6 years more, you can imagine how much more plastic would have gone in. So the main idea was to substitute something which can be biodegradable, where we are removing the use of single-use nature. Second is health concern. Although the plastic crockery and cutlery which we get from the market, plastic is amorphous in nature. So it's made up of a lot of biopolymers. And then they have their separate melting points. So the moment you heat it up, even if in physical form, we don't see plastic melting, there are a lot of fumes and chemicals which go inside our food. So the second idea was to make sure that there are no health concerns when we are using cutlery and crockery. Next slide, please. What are the types of edible cutleries which are available? First is rice-based. So they use rice bran to make it. Very popular in Asian countries. Wheat-based, after this whole pollution issue which happened in Delhi, there are a lot of companies which have started taking wheat straws and they're making cutleries out of it. Millet-based, sorghum and finger millet, both are used extensively. Sorghum is used because it has got pantothenic and neotenic acid in it, which makes it very suitable to make edible cutleries. We have used finger millet just for the reason that it is readily available for us. Then there is cornstarch base. In China, they are working on this cutlery where they are using corn. They're taking out the starch and they are fermenting it and making biopolymer out of it. And they're using it to make cutleries. Seedish is a company which is from Amsterdam. They have already developed this cutlery. It can biodegrade in 30 days by itself. So it's the fastest biodegradable cutlery in the world. Unfortunately, it is in Amsterdam as of now. It has not made global, but it is there. And sugar-based, bagasse is something which is sugarcane fiber that is used to make cutleries. There are a lot of companies in India who are doing sugarcane cutleries. Next, please. We have used finger millet for, apart from that it is readily available, there are reasons that it is nutritious. It is nutritious. It has got antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. Plus, it is also gluten-free. Although I would like to correct one thing here, that the cutlery which we have made is not gluten-free. It has got flour in it. We are still working on a version where we can do gluten-free cutleries. Next, please. Okay, so this is the composition of our product. Ragi flour is 100 grams. And as I've already mentioned, we have used refined flour 100 grams. When we put this paper for publication, it was 50-50%. As of now, we are working on 70-30. So 70% ragi and 30% refined flour. We are hoping to make it 100% pretty soon. So then the whole cutlery will be gluten-free. We have used sugar syrup. So when you taste the cutlery, you can see that it is slightly on a sweeter side. And liquid glucose, because liquid glucose gives us extensibility. Now we don't have any sachas here, or we don't have any mold here to make the cutlery. So we need to sheet it out and then cut it by hand. So when we are sheeting it out, liquid glucose helps in sheeting it out in extensibility. So that is why we have used liquid glucose for making in this composition. No, sugar also increases the shelf life. Even liquid glucose also increases the shelf life. So that is why the cutlery which we have the prototype which we have showed to you, this is been outside for 15 days and it has no fungal activity on it. Generally, when people make cutlery, they add ascorbic acid so that fungal activity does not happen. We have not used ascorbic acid just for the mere reason that we couldn't get it. If we would have got it, we would have also added. But without scorbic acid also, it's been 15 days and we have not seen any kind of fungal activity on the cutlery. That is because of liquid glucose in sugar. And it has been raining for past 2 days in Ranchi. So we expected that it is going to have, but it didn't. Next, please. The manufacturing process is very simple. We take millet, local millet, and we go to the local miller. We ask them to mill it for us. So they mill it, we get a millet flour. Then we add all the ingredients and make the dough. After making the dough, we sheet it out. After sheeting it out, we do a drying process. Now, drying process is done at 80 degrees Celsius for 8 hours. Why it is done is we need to cut down all the water in the cutlery. If there is water, there are chances of fungal infections. So we do the drying process. After drying, we do baking. And after baking, we do packaging. It is very similar to how a pottery is made. Very, very similar. Next, please. These are some of the durability tests which we have done. This was done in accordance with Dr. Ladli Rani, who is heading, who is teaching in Birsa Agricultural University. It was done under her tutelage. We use the cutlery and we put it in 4 different mediums. Hot water, where the whole cutlery was diluted in 58 minutes. So we can easily assume that when we are using it to drink soups, in 58 minutes is good enough time for cutlery to survive. Cold water, it took 2 hours for cold water to change color. In highly acidic medium, where we used vinegar as one of the acidic source, 38 minutes, the whole cutlery got dissolved. It started changing the shape, especially the spoons from the neck side, because neck is slightly thinner. So from that side, it started to distort, the shape started distorting. Then in highly salted water, it took around 42 minutes for the same thing to happen. So generally, when we serve food, this is the time frame. This is more than the time frame of eating. So we feel that this cutlery is almost there. Although I will not say that it is the perfect cutlery because we are still working on it. Next. What are the conclusions of the research? First is that the cutlery which we made is biodegradable. We have not put it for biodegradation yet. We will be putting it, but we are assuming that there is nothing which is not natural. So it is going to happen. I don't know how many years it's going to take or how many months it's going to take, but it's going to happen. So that is one thing which we need to put in the research, and it takes a lot longer time period, which we didn't have. So I cannot wash on it how much time it's going to take. Nutritional value, there's a nutritional chart, which I've already put it on my paper. Reduces plastic pollution. Obviously, we're not using plastic. Sustainable agriculture, this is very important because in 2016, NIFTEM did one study where they found out that a lot of farmers are committing suicide in India because they were millet farmers and millet did not have market. Millet is one crop which can grow in any kind of climate, in any kind of water availability. So this promotes sustainable agriculture, and it is customizable because you can add any kind of flavor into it. Now, we know that it is slightly sugary on a sugary front. So a lot of savory flavors are slightly difficult to add, but we have already added some savory flavors. I couldn't present it today, but we are almost there to convert it into savory also, where we have to cut down the sugar intake or sugar part in the recipe. Yes, I'm coming to that. So the challenges which I feel is price. The cutlery, the crockery which we have made is 3 rupees per piece, and the cutlery is 1 rupee per piece. For an informal sector, if I am owning a thela, 3 rupees crockery is little expensive on my budget. I'll also feel that. So that is one thing which can be brought down if we increase the scale of the production. That can be done. Product taste can be improved. It on a slightly sweeter side. We have tasted like hundreds of it now, so we know that how it tastes. It tastes slightly sweeter. More awareness need to be created. I am not sure how many. When we started this, we also didn't knew that how many players are still in the market. So more awareness is required in this, and scalability is a major issue because still people are looking for more convenient cutleries, and plastic and wood are the more convenient ones which are available in the market. So there are a lot of work still left which has to be done. It is a very initial stage of research, but we are very proud of where we have reached as of now. Thank you. Any questions, please?
Hello.
It's quite impressive. And I'm happy that real research is going on in hospitality and tourism sector.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your work. I have few suggestions. Like, can we improve the texture and can we make it somewhat more friable that we can take bite is easily?
Okay.
So you can look into that. If maybe 2% or 3% fat is added, you can get that. And it will improve the shelf life also.
Definitely.
Just a random suggestion I have not tested in the lab. Since I am from the food production, it's a suggestion. Secondly, if it is not published in anywhere, then you can write in format, good format, and you can approach good journals to get it published. It has potential to get published. If you are not getting any opportunity, then we have our own journal that is indexed in ABDC. It's reputed indexing. You can approach us also.
We will definitely do that, sir. Actually, we have not done the sensory profile as of now. So that is one thing which
You can do it. And in our university, we have food tech department also. If any collaboration is required, we will be more than happy to help you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
So
and one more thing, I'm sorry, sir. One more thing I wanted to add is that we have already received FSSI certificate for this.
Okay, that's
So
great.
we have already received that.
Okay.
It's not part of the research, but it's there. We have received FSSI certification for this.
That's great.
Thank you.
Chef, I have only one query, that how hygienic it will be when it goes to the market. Because see, when we are using any cutlery, any crockery, any earthenware, we can wash it, right? And we feel satisfied. Now this, suppose one student got this here, and now suppose I'm eating it. So how hygienic you feel it will be, and how will you convince people that it is hygienic? Because it changes hand.
It does, but that goes for plastic cutlery also, sir. So if I'm going to a
Plastic one, suppose I can wash also. In this case, what I can do?
no,
It can come
that
with
is
some
one
packet.
point of consideration here, because but then we cannot wash any edible cutlery. So edible cutlery is something which cannot be washed. If it washed, it will soak up the water. Unless and until it has been, there is some cellulose material which has been applied on it and it can be washed. So that is way beyond my scientific expertise to put into. But I
suppose you are selling it in the market. Okay, one day your dream is to sell it in the market, right? So when it goes to the market, how will you think that packaging can be done so that only one or two hands can touch that?
while working, maybe we can make it more automatized right now, because it was full hands-on. We don't have any automation, but yeah, if it is automation, then maybe usage of hand can be brought down. That is the only way we can do that. Otherwise, I don't see any other way in the process where we can cut down. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think we can. I have one question, please. I think we can handle this with having good packaging things. Like, see, we have to handle it like we handle any edible things in the market. So if we can handle those edible things, this can also be handled. I really congratulate Dr. Bhupesh Kumar and Tom sir that you have come up with such a nice innovation. It needs a lot of courage to come up with such things in the market. I still remember, sir, जब हम वो magazine में निकालता था, तो I had your article. तो from that time I knew that you have this research acumen in you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I have already mentioned it. It's three rupees is the crockery and 1 rupees is the cutlery. I still feel that it is on a higher side. We can cut it down. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving forward to the next presenter, I would like to invite Mrs. Anandita Bharadwaj, Aditya Banerjee, and Mr. Gaurav Bhatla for the topic A Study on Digitalization in Hospitality Management and Tourism.
Good evening, everybody. Myself, Anindita Bharadwaj, and this study is the work of myself, Miss Aditi Banerjee, my guide for PhD, Dr. Gaurav Batla, and our HOD, Mr. Alok Aswal. The topic is a study on digitalization in tourism management and in hospitality management and tourism. Now, when we talk about, please change the slide. When we talk about digitalization, first we need to find it out that what is digitization and what is digitalization. Next. Digitization is converting the analog data into digital data. Like, for example, the current or the voltage, what we measure, that is in the analog form. And digitalization is much a larger perspective. Like a simple the scanner, what we use in our phones, that is digitization, but when we start using it for different purposes, for making our payments, then it becomes digitalization. I would like to come to my objectives. Next slide. Now, the main objective of my research is to find out a hierarchical structure between the elements that influence the travel and tourism industry. And at the same time, how digitalization will affect the stakeholders of our industry. For that, I have used the primary as well as secondary data. In primary data, I have gone for a questionnaire, mainly circulated to the hoteliers. Approximately 50 people were taken, and secondary data, of course, was taken from different journals and magazines. Come to the flowchart. Flowchart. Now, when I talk about the hierarchical structure, this is the structure what I have made. In the process chart, we have the components of digitalization, and the main component is the tourist, how tourists are affected by it. Now, next is the hotels or the service people who will provide this to the tourist, and how much personalized offers we can give it to our tourists. The more digital, in a digital way we provide the offers, the popularity of our hotel. Like when we go to the bank, and when we go to especially a private bank like Axis or HDFC, as soon as we become their customers on birthdays and all, they send us different offers. Similarly, the hotels are providing personalized offers to the guests through the digital platform. Now, coming to the classical booking is when we do the reservations by telephone or through other medium. But now our guests are preferring to go for the reservations through online booking. And when we go for the booking in this, the sharing economy plays a major part. Sharing economy like Airbnb, which is a agent between the hotels and the customer, and according to our spending capacity, we can go for the type of accommodation. Then the presence of social media, what we have, Facebook, Twitter, and other WhatsApp, through which a hotel popularizes its product in terms of services, in terms of food and other services which are available. And the virtual reality, although not very much into the pipeline, but of course there is work going on it, where the tourists get a hands-on experience of what I expect when I go to a destination. And this all together, this type of digitalization, when we provide to the guest, the whatever other medium which is that is taken aback, and the guest prefer for the digitalization of the complete hotel system, so that the information that we get is hands-on. Conclusion, sir, there is a study also on hotel room booking method. उसमें आ जाओ pie chart. Next slide. Next. This one in the hotel booking method, a study was taken in which 92% of the guests did their reservation through internet, 7% through phone, and 1% only through the travel agent. So we can see that even tourists are more inclined towards the online booking method. Please go to the next slide. The stakeholders of our industry, like the travel agents, the hotels, restaurants, and many more, even their responses was that digitalization plays a major role for them. And 70% of them agreed that going for digitalization is really helpful for the tourism industry. Please come to the conclusion. As we can see, there is no denying that digitalization is very much helpful for our economic growth. And our hospitality and tourism industry has much potential for its growth. So digitalization will help all the stakeholders, but at the same time, we need to see that digitalization should not lead to unemployment, and it should support the participants, whether it's the hotels, whether the employees, etc. Everybody should benefit from digitalization. And one more thing that very important is whenever we are having any guest information with us, how secure it is with us. That is very important because security breach is a major concern with digitalization. So thank you. And any questions, please? Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. For the next presenter, I would like to call Mr. Ravi Kumar, Professor Mukesh Chaturvedi on the topic of promotion of indigenous culture tourism through social media in Jharkhand, with special reference to Smith's 4H of indigenous tourism.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, respected chair. My name is Ravi Kumar, and I'm here to present my paper on promotion of indigenous culture tourism through social media in Jharkhand, with special reference to Smith 4H of indigenous tourism. This research or this paper has been written under the guidance of Professor Mukesh Chaturvedi. He is also my guide for the PhD. Jharkhand, as we all know, is a land of tribes, more than 30 tribes, precisely near about 32 tribes. It's a land of 32 tribes. Is known for its culture, it's known for its heritage, is known for its habitat and handicrafts. And these are the 4 pillars of Smith 4H on which I am going to elaborate in coming slides. So the problem or you can say the questions that I have asked, that how can social media be effectively leveraged for the promotion of indigenous cultural tourism under these 4H. Previous slide, please. Next slide. Yes. And what promotional initiatives can be taken and can be proposed to the stakeholders, be it tour operators, be it the travel departments, be it the tourism department. I have some comparative study also for the same. Go ahead. Yes. So these are the 4H what I was talking about: the heritage, history, handicraft, and habitat of indigenous tourism. Primarily, secondary and primary research has been done for the same. For primary, I have used the semi-structured questionnaires, the interview. Near about 50 respondents have been approached for the same. And for the secondary, journals were reviewed. The Jharkhand Tourism Policy 2021 has been closely monitored and reviewed, and some research articles also from the Ministry of Tourism and market research documents. These are the criteria where the headings were included and excluded. So all the focus theme were for the review of literature. Indigenous tourism was included, and outside the context, it was excluded. Language definitely was English, that was included. Timeline I have chosen is 2011 to 21. And article, journal, and conference proceedings has been included. However, the article review chapters in the book are excluded in my review. So these are discussions under 4 heads. The analysis, let us start with the habitat part. The analysis of, this is basically the analysis part of the result. The Facebook group and the page of indigenous cultural institutions show that the 2 major social media sites, that is YouTube and Facebook, are most popular among the tribes, or in fact the youth, for the promotion of tribal culture tourism in the state. Wait for a second. Go back. The community-led storytelling is one part which is really lacking in our promotional activities. It is not like that Jharkhand government or the Jharkhand tourism or the Jharkhand culture department is not promoting the heritage, history, handicraft, and habitat of the state. However, there are certain limitations on which this study has highlighted. Go ahead. Yes, so we can easily see, these are the screenshots of some of the pages of Jharkhand tourism and Jharkhand culture. We can see that Jharkhand tourism has a good followers of more than 35,000. However, Jharkhand culture has only 833 followers. The same goes for the Instagram page. What is lacking, which I have got to know from my study, is that proper tagging is not being done. Let us an example of the screenshot from Jharkhand culture post. So they have not used a proper hashtag. In fact, the tagging has also not been done. These are the reels or the short videos which are primarily popular among the youths. They have barely got 100 views, 150 views, or maybe highest you can see is 298 views, which is very small as compared to. They have also tried to promote the Lohra tribe. Just see, this is what I was talking about, the heritage part. So they are promoting the heritage. However, the promotion has not been done to the optimal level. Next slide, please. With regard to Jharkhand tourism, yes, Jharkhand tourism is definitely doing better as compared to the culture part. Let us say, questions like Jharkhand में आदिवासी समाज में अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ बहुत से विद्रोह हुए हैं. So once you are posing the post in terms of question, there is better engagement. You can see the post has reached more than 3,000 viewers, and it has been retweeted also. There has been an engagement with the audience. 10 comments we have received. In contrast to that, if there is a post on Karmali tribal community, there has been hardly 65 reach, and the post has been liked only by 3 viewers. There is no retweet, there is no comment engagement. Go ahead, please. So these are the suggestions or the data analysis what I have analyzed in my paper. The most compelling factors which decide the promotion of indigenous cultural tourism is basically the history and culture of the state. Near about 86% respondents have said that. This is in terms of their response. Visual art forms and handicrafts. The paintings we see, the Sohrai painting, all these things, near about they say that 82% can be from, and 82% can be the contribution towards the promotion. And folk music and dance, they say, in the morning only we have witnessed about the Paika dance, which is part of the dance form of Jharkhand. So they say that 75% of post can be from the dance form and the folk dance. Top platforms that what the respondents have admitted is YouTube, which contributes near about 25%, followed by Facebook, 24%, followed by Twitter and WhatsApp group and Pinterest also. The department or the culture department or tourism department, they don't have the WhatsApp presence as well through WhatsApp group, Pinterest group. They only have the presence on major social media sites, which is YouTube and Facebook as well as Instagram. Next, please. And the content has to be like online discussion and forum received the response against 64%. Creative digital storytelling. This is what I was talking about. So storytelling part is missing with our mythology, the cuisine or the heritage or handicraft has to be told in terms of story. The audience or the youth connect with the story in a better manner. So near about 84% have responded that digital storytelling will create an impact. And good quality photos, videos or cultural attraction, near about 96%. Next, please. This is the conclusion. that yes, Smith Forest framework covering habitat, experience, expression of living heritage and history and handicrafts, where the 95% of respondents have affirmed that heritage received the maximum response. Preferred media identified by youth were YouTube and Facebook and Instagram with indigenous art, culture, narratives. As I had started in the beginning of the presentation only, that yes, Jharkhand tourism culture both are doing their effort. However, the promotion has not been done to the optimal, and there is a lot of scope in future as well. These are the references which I have used for my study. That is it from my side. Any question, please? Thank you.
Except percentage analysis, have you done anything?
Sorry, sir?
What I see, this is percentage analysis.
Yes.
Except that, have you done anything?
I have, sir, basically the data was gathered through interview questions, and that has been interpreted.
Okay, right.
The data was fed on the Excel sheet, and the common words that has been, the repeated words that I have got has been converted into percentage form for the.
You are doing PhD, no?
I'm doing the PhD parts.
Right. So my best wishes for that. But next time, whenever you are working, we should to check the reliability of the data.
Sir.
So that part is missing. Research methodology is very weak.
Okay.
It was in the previous presentation also, but I kept to prefer to be silent.
Okay.
In our sector, we are lacking this orientation. And this is now high time that we should pull our socks and we should compete with the management and other streams that yes, we can do the right research.
Very well noted.
So you are doing PhD and you will, and your guide will tell you all these things should be included in our research.
Very well noted.
Like in previous presentation also, a result and discussion was shown, path analysis was done, but the results was not clearly mentioned.
Okay.
It was not indicated in that. So we need to pull our socks now.
Sir.
Otherwise, always we will be at the back stage. ये tourism वाला है, ये hotel management वाला है, ये खाना बनाता है. We have to listen for another 20 years.
Certainly, sir.
And
Certainly.
we have faced, and now I don't want the youngsters should face the same things. We have to pull our socks.
Very well noted, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. Moving forward, our next paper presenter is Mr. Aprajit Roy on the topic Digital Trends and Consumer Behaviors, a deep dive into the symbiosis of digital culture and marketing strategies.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Aprajita Roy, and I am a research scholar of Usha Martin University. And here I'm very much thankful to Ictthc for giving me the opportunity to present my presentation here. So on the topic of digital trends and consumer behavior, a deep dive into the symbiosis of digital culture and marketing strategies. So I would like to tell first that how digital, with this topic, digital trends and consumer behavior. So as we know that we are in the era of digital, so in an era of dominated by digital landscape, exploring the relationship between the digital trends. This is a roadmap of today's presentation. I will be heading towards the introduction, objective of the study, the methodology which I have used for, and what was the purpose of my study, and what will be the direction for my future research. And at last, I would like to conclude with the conclusion part. So, introduction. So as we know that we are in the era of digital, so the relationship between the digital trends and consumer behavior has become a paramount in today's world. So this research article dwells into the symbiotic connection with the digital culture and connection between digital culture and evolving the marketing strategies. So as we are in the technological which continues to reshape how we interact with information. So this is what is understanding the what is the understanding of what is digital trends. So here we can see that new techniques which are trending internet and digital ecosystem to carry out the marketing promotions. So digital marketing trends are changing in the strategic direction, so that the digital marketing, including evolution of different kinds of marketing techniques, consumer sentiments, and underlining the technologies. So how, because in this today's world, how the digital trends are changing, and in that context, the consumers' preferences are also getting changed. So moving toward the next slide, this is the role of, what is the role of social media, which shapes the digital trends. So, so we know that social media is a very big platform which shapes the digital trends, and by influencing the marketing, content variability, and brand communication. So companies interact directly with the audience, reshaping the brand consumer relationship, so that we are very well, as we can take an example of social media. These days, we get different types of, whenever we come up with a YouTube, if we open, we see any kind of video, all the digital trends video comes, so that it promotes how it's implementing these days. Next slide. This is the future of digital trends, and what will be the prediction. So 5G technology, it's ultra fast data transfer and communication these days, and IoT. So it is a smart device transforming the daily life interaction and automation these days. Next slide. So now it's a digital culture. So digital culture here encompasses various elements such as social media, online communities, and digital content. So online communities, as we know, it's a very friendly trend LinkedIn. So we can create our own online communities where we can develop the digital age. So it has a characterized by consent of connectivity, instant information access, and the rapid exchange of ideas. So understanding these characteristics, it's a paramount successful engagement. So this is what will be the impact on marketing strategies if we connect digital culture. So the impact of digital culture on marketing strategies, it will be dynamic interaction, global reach, personalization, and data-driven insights. So
Madam, come to the research part, please.
Research part. I have done the literature review, which highlights the exploration of digital trends and how consumer behavior that has become an imperative undertaking in the landscape of digital technological advancement and digital culture, which are reshaping the marketing, which reveals a comprehensive literature review by symbiotic relationship between and emphasizing the modern marketing strategies. So my entire research topics, which reveals that in this rapidly field of digital technology, this study strives to explore the interaction between the digital culture and marketing strategies, with a focus on how these dynamics can affect the consumer behavior. And in my research methodology, I have done a qualitative research wherein I have taken the secondary data from the journals different, I've researched for some case studies, so which helped me to write this paper. These are the top five I've taken. Some of my literature review, which I've taken from Google Scholar, Sprinkles, and Shodh Ganga. I've taken these review literature. So this is the objective of my study, to identify and analyze the emerging digital trends, how digital trend is in today's world, it's what is the identification of this, to study the influence of digital culture and consumer behavior, to investigate on consumer perception and attitude towards data privacy and its security, to study the impact on trust in digital marketing, because it's a very important part of these today's world. And finally, it's to analyze the influence of growing trends in e-commerce on consumer behavior, because we are in a flow of assuming the in today's trends. मतलब हम लोग आजकल के जो जमाने में हम लोग ट्रेंड में बहते चले जा रहे हैं. So we should know how the consumers are, what is the perception of the consumers. So next slide. I have taken a combination of exploratory and descriptive research design, which has been adopted to study the relying solely on secondary data, where I have taken from journals, books, reports, and reviewing the literature review. And as I was talking about it, this is the purpose, why I want to do my research topic, to conduct a comprehensive exploratory among what is the relationship between the digital culture and marketing strategies. And
Ma'am, come to the part where you have achieved your objective, and how have you achieved your objectives? Come to that part, please.
Okay. So this is what is I have done. This will be the direction for what I have taken, is that what will be the future direction of my future scope. So how digital trend and consumer behavior, what are the opportunities it should take, the marketers should take, and build a relationship between the digital culture and trend and consumer behavior. And at last, I would like to conclude to my topic, and that digital trends are a form of dynamic symbiosis and continuous shaping towards the marketing strategies and involving the nature of digital culture and becoming a holistic and adaptive approach towards the marketing strategies. These are the references which I have taken.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions? Just wanted to know, I mean, जैसे आपने 4-5 objective लिए.
Sure, sir.
Oh no, how did you, I mean, concluded those objectives in your conclusion? I mean, how did you achieve those objectives? Come to the objective. See, we need to be very much clear how we are going to frame up the research work. These are your objectives. So the number one objective you have taken to identify and analyze the emerging digital trends.
Yes.
So how have you identified and analyzed these digital trends? Did you make some questionnaire for this particular objective, or did you have some kind of discussion to achieve this objective? And did you show it in your methodology?
Sir, as I have not prepared a questionnaire because I have taken secondary data and I've reviewed some literature reviews and journals.
It's okay.
So,
It's okay. That is perfect. But were you able to achieve these objectives which you have taken? If you see, when we are doing a research and we have taken some objectives, either we have to achieve those objectives. If we are not achieving, then also we have to write it down in the summary that these were not achievable or we did not achieve them. So they are interrelated. When you choose a topic, from that topic, you frame out the objectives, and from those objectives, you frame out the hypothesis, and then you put the methodology and you achieve them, and then you put the conclusions.
Sure, sir.
So that part need to be understood. All right.
Okay, sure, sir. I'll make a note. Okay. 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 Yes. Okay, sure. Sir. I'll make a note of. Okay.
आप जो भी ऑब्जेक्टिव लीजिए ना उसको अचीव करिए, उसको आप प्रेजेंट करिए कि मैंने ये ऑब्जेक्टिव लिए एंड दिस इज हाउ आई हैव अचीव्ड दैट, आई हैव प्रूव्ड देम. ओके,
Sure, sir.
I have worked on that objective.
Sure, sir.
Miss Aparajita,
You have taken 5 objective. It is a Herculean task.
Yes, sir.
see, take my feedback as positive guidelines. It will help you to do PhD.
Yes, sir.
What you have done in objective, all the 5 objectives may be the different 5 research questions for 5 papers.
Yes.
So there are basic flaws. In most of the hypotheses, separate proposed model will be framed and path analysis has to be done. Now you are doing secondary work.
Data.
Data. In fact, data is not there. You are just reviewing certain papers. But in methodology, you have written qualitative analysis. For that, you need to approach someone. In fact, the entire paper is a complete mess. So you need to talk to your guide. Take these objectives separately. It will help you. Fine.
Okay, sure.
And if you are doing PhD, you need to understand what are the importance of these things. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving forward, our next presenter is Soumyajit Bandhopadhyay and Dr. Jyoti on the topic Studying Social Media Trends as a Promotional Tools for Tourism, a Descriptive Approach.
Yes. Yes. Seventh slide. So with the, good afternoon, everyone, rather good evening, everyone. Now with the literature review part, you have already seen the topic though. It's studying social media trends as a promotional tool. Now with the literature review part, I've studied a few papers which you can see that word of mouth has been an important consideration for social media as well and viral content of the same. Thereby, travelers today via internet looks for suggestions more. A lot of talking has been done about Instagram and stuff, reels and cooking stuff that we are making and breaking our cuisine. But most importantly, travelers today are looking on these feedbacks only and thereby making their decisions. So social media today works as a decision-making process. And the third point being one of the mega trends that has significantly impacted the tourism system. With the social media influencers in the market today, it has been a huge trend that we tend to identify ourselves, our travel plans, as per their way of seeing the travel. Next. These are some of the purported literatures where the main things are marketing tools, e-business transformations, social network based on approach to direct marketing, media and travel. You can already see that. Next.
This being the interesting one after factors, the basic variables which I have found out for social media today are the blogs and social networking sites. Obviously, Twitter is no more existing, X, that has been wrongly rotated. And Skyrock, Blogger Chambers. Blogging itself today acts as a big thing for us to trust. And social networking sites and content community sites, we see Spotify is the new inclusion today, as because that lots of podcasts are in the market. And in fact, Ictthc has the podcast of their own today. Sites for feedback, TripAdvisor, Expedia, Foursquare, and most important one being for Facebook. People tend to justify their word of mouth publicity more.
Next slide, please. Come to research methodology.
Next. The objectives: understand and role the impact of social media marketing tools in the tourism and hospitality, and understand the role of social media. Next, research methodology. Study is based on descriptive research design. Content analysis has been done to identify the variables on which the questionnaire has been designed. Primary data has been gathered with the help of a questionnaire, obviously. And then structured and non-disguised questionnaire has been designed with the variables. Next. These are some of the variables which has been taken into consideration while preparing the questionnaire. Next. Come to the data analysis part. Here, content analysis has been done, and thereby after that percentage analysis has also been done, where Likert scale and yes no questions has been taken. Influence of social media in planning. And next, decision making on selection of the vacation location and engaging the customers through social media platforms, wherein we find that hotels trying to address guests' queries in social media today much more, and via various blogging sites as well. Next. Brand promotional strategies. Publicity about various events and activities today are happening via social media, and thereby bilingual promotion is the newer concept. Publicizing the guests' stories, and this is something new to hospitality in terms of hotel, but not in terms of airways. Whenever we travel in air, we might have seen those magazines where we find the stories. And loyalty programs that has been in the market for quite some time now for guests, for their feedbacks, and as well as discounts, and it goes on. Next. So the conclusion being that online advertising is getting popular in the market day by day for the hospitality and tourism sector. The wide connection of social networking is a good way to spread information around the world, especially when it comes to business promotion. These points are more relevant because being in this field and being in the current trend, using current trends, like we all use Instagram and Facebook and stuff, we all know that these things are being incorporated in the hotel sectors, and they are generating huge amount of profit, and they're also gathering potential customers from here. Social networking has also given a favorable condition for industries to connect with the consumers. We see all the blogs out there in YouTube to connect. We never know, like before coming to Ranchi, we always go to the YouTube and find out what the favorite eateries out there, what are the places to travel out there. So world has become very small with the help of the social media. And then with the recommendation part, we find that various false allegations are also in the market. And with this point, which you can see, I mean, today morning only, just an example, that while having breakfast with Dr. Reddy, he recently visited Chandigarh, and I am from Chandigarh. So he was like telling that I had seen a post about Pal Dhaba, a random restaurant, and the chicken out there was flawless, according to social media. But in the real life, he found that pretty bad. So the recommendations are
Anything
always
else?
out there.
Last slide?
Hmm.
Okay, fine.
Yes, that's it.
So
Thank you, sir.
you have mentioned content analysis.
Hmm.
but I couldn't see what you have done in content analysis and how you have done.
Right, sir. So in the content analysis, go to the data analysis.
Which tool you have used?
In the content analysis part, sir, not so tools, and as in I found out the influence of social media in travel planning stuff. The repeated number of questions came, the more number of papers were adjusted from this.
See, when we are writing paper and mentioning the methods, we need to be very careful. You have written exploratory, I guess, content analysis, descriptive analysis. And when you are presenting the paper, those things are missing.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not like you pick some word from somewhere and include in
Exactly.
your paper.
Right.
So you are a student, there is long way to go, but you need to be more careful when we are using and writing papers.
Done, sir. Thank you.
Sir, our next presenter is Srijita Mukherjee on the topic Impact of Digitalization on Village Tourism.
Good evening, everyone, one and all present over here. My name is Srijita Mukherjee, and I'm from IHM Kolkata. I'm doing my MSc second year from there. So my topic. Okay. So I'll be speaking on the digitalization of village tourism. So we know that recently there are various like Facebook, there are bloggers, and there are various platforms we get to see various village their cultures, all these things. There are travelers who go and they report, and there are various other things which is happening, and it is being spreaded across through this Facebook or maybe YouTube and all these things. So if I go to the introduction part, I have also like this project, like the digitalization. I've also taken an example of Dhanno Korea village, which is situated 55 kilometers. It is in Boshirhat. It's in West Bengal. So it will be a bit easier if it's there.
You can read out.
Okay, sir. So I'll go straight to the aims and objectives. Yeah, so if we talk about the objectives, first I have gotten to the idea of digitalization and what is the digitalization of village tourism and what are the advantages of the digitalization in village tourism. These have been discussed. These are the main things that have been discussed. And along with that, the objectives are what are the development we can do with the digital media and the digitalization of the market of the tourism. And also, I have also tried to cover the role of digital media as the bridge between the village people and the urban people.
Carry on, carry on.
Yes, sir. So I have also included the literature review, which is one of them is the article which was published in WW. There's a site over there. There was like different cultures of the village and the urban tourism was discussed, and there were diversity, and I have taken from there. And one is United Nations World Tourism Organization also has emphasized on the village tourism to open the opportunities to develop the economic conditions and we have to also like uplift the standards of village on this article. So basically what I'm trying to say is like once we promote this village tourism, So it will also improve the economic conditions of the people living over there. They will also have a source of like income. Like if we like if we go over there and do some local like local transportation, if we take, or something like localized if we take, then they will also have an opportunity to have an income. They will also flourish from that. So basically my research methodology was descriptive. There were like descriptive. I have also taken secondary data from various sites and magazines and various other articles. And there is also depiction of bar graph. My name was no, sir. They are just they was asking about. Yes, this one. Yes, sir. Uh, So I'll go straight on to the research questions. So my certain questions were like how the concept of the tourism could be implemented successfully. Like, what do you think? Like, should the local people also be taught certain modes of hospitality by the government or the non-government organizations? Should the village tourism be like can introduce the like rural culture to certain cuisines of a specific area? And then how economic support can be given to the entrepreneurs of the village tourism, and how nearby important places can relate with a specific village? And do you think the village tourism upgrade the economic status and lifestyle of local people? So I also got certain research limitations while I was doing this. So like some places, you know, there are some zamindar houses and certain.
You scroll down the slides, we will have a look. Just to scroll the slides. Next. You have a spoken all, just we want to have a look. Next. 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 Okay, see, there are some basic flaws, and you are a student. One good thing is that you are confident enough what you spoke, that was impressive. But how to plan the research, you need to learn how to write the methods, like objectives. You have given too many research questions. You can make 3-4 papers from those research questions. Don't include everything in one. So take 1 or 2 research questions, and at the end, try to answer those research questions. Whenever you are doing work, be specific about the method, what you are using, and you convince yourself that the outcome has come or not, right? Then only you will come to a good paper that can be published at certain place, right? Thank you. All
And
the best.
excuse me. Questionnaire has to be framed in such a way that it derives the objectives which you have taken. All right. Just for the sake of putting questionnaire will not derive anything. So whatever question you are asking, it should have some objective. That question should also have the objective of achieving the objective which you have taken earlier. All right. And there is one common feedback which I wanted to give to everyone. The literature review is a very vital part of research. अगर आप लिटरेचर रिव्यू को अच्छे से नहीं करते हैं तो यू आर नॉट एबल टू डू द गैप एनालिसिस. आपको गैप एनालिसिस करना पड़ेगा कि जब आप खूब सारे रिव्यू करेंगे लिटरेचर को, then you will come to know what are the gaps which has been in this particular part of research. Only then you will be able to frame a good topic, and then rest of the work. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am. Our next presenter is Sharjita Maulik on the topic Digital Renaissance, Preserving and Promoting India's Culture Heritage in Modern Age.
Good evening, everyone, one and all present here. I am Srijita Maulik. I am from IHM Kolkata, and my topic is preserving and promoting India's cultural heritage in the modern age. So preserving and promoting India's rich cultural heritage encompasses diverse traditions, art forms, and practices reflecting the country's historical and social legacy. Next, I want to go to the objective part. So my first objective of the study was to identify the major components, difficulties, and possibilities for preservation and promotion of India's cultural legacy in the context of digital renaissance. And my second objective was to investigate and evaluate the many digital technologies accessible for preserving India's cultural legacy, such as digitalization methods, VR, like virtual reality, augmented reality, and other developing tools. My research questions were how the modernization has impacted the digitalization nowadays, and my second objective was like what are the challenges faced nowadays for preserving and promotion of India's cultural heritage. So next. No. So various challenges in preserving cultural heritage were rapid urbanization, like encroachment and modern development threaten ancient structures. Next is technological erosion. Digitalization may lead to the neglect of traditional art forms. And lastly is resource constraints. Limited funds hinder restorations and maintenance efforts. Next is various initiatives to promote. Okay. Oh, all right. So the next is initiatives to promote cultural heritage. First is government efforts. Nowadays, government are taking many efforts to promote cultural heritage, establishment of cultural heritage departments and conservation projects led by Government of India. Next is NGO collaborations, partnerships for awareness campaigns and preservation programs. And lastly is community involvement, local communities, like local initiatives to safeguard and promote indigenous practices. Role of technology in cultural heritage. First is digitalization, preservation of artifacts through digital archiving and 3D modeling. And second is educational platforms, online resources for immersive learning and virtual heritage tour. Now I want to go to the digital preservation overview. So digital preservation overview, first is achieving methods, like overview of digital achieving methods for preserving India's cultural artifacts and documents. And next is documentation techniques, which is detailed examination of digital documentation processes for historical and artistic material. What are the digital archiving methods? First is 3D scanning, utilizing advanced 3D scanning technology for detailed preservation of cultural artifacts, and detailed scans captures, integrate details and textures of historical items. Next is data tagging, implementing comprehensive metadata tagging for efficient organizations and retrieval of digital archives. Next is, as I said, VR and AR, virtual reality, exploring the immersive digital reconstruction of historical Indian sites and artifacts. And next is AR, augmented reality, overlap of virtual and physical worlds, enhancing cultural experience for visitors. So my major findings were, I have prepared a questionnaire where 50 respondents have filled that questionnaire. So out of 50 respondents, 21% use internet channels to learn about India's cultural history on a regular basis, which is very less nowadays. And 61% of the population uses it occasionally, while 15% have never used it. And most importantly, out of 50 respondents, 69% use websites to learn about India's cultural legacy. 53% use mobile applications, 33 uses virtual tools, and 66% use social media platforms. And lastly, 23% are extremely concerned about the potential loss or distortion of cultural authenticity throughout the digital preservation process, while 7% are unconcerned. So what are the major challenges and limitations? First is technological integration, challenges of integrating digital preservations with traditional conservation methods. Next is data security risk, evaluating potential risk and vulnerabilities in preserving cultural data through digital means. And lastly, long-term sustainability, consideration for long-term sustainability and maintenance of digital culture achieves. What are the future prospects and recommendations? First is innovation pathways, exploring innovative pathways and emerging technologies for future cultural preservations. Next is collaborative partnerships, fostering collaborations between technological experts and cultural preservations. And lastly, continuous adaptations, adapting digital preservation strategies to embrace new advancement in technological call for action for preserving cultural heritage in India. First is participation. Of course, participation is necessary for promotion of cultural heritage. We should encourage individuals to do so in local heritage and preservation initiatives. And second is educational awareness, promoting the values of India's diverse cultural legacy for future generations, as we are doing it today now through a means of conference or seminar. And lastly, sustainable practices, advocating for environmentally conscious preservation methods and practices. Thank you.
Right. As a participant, your confidence level is good. You presented it well, but if I talk about content, you need to improve. Like you have taken a sample size of 50, it's quite less. You have done percentage analysis where there is no reliability at all. So you need to read about how to determine the sample size. There are many ways that will help you to design the sample. Fine. So that is important. It's a learning stage, good attempt, but you learn how to design the sample. That will include the method, size. Similarly, the research design. That will include the type of method you will use for your research. So you take any reference of good book, read, and then try for the paper, writing paper. Fine. Your confidence level is very high. That will take you long way.
Sir.
All the best.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Presenter is Sandeepan Mandal on the topic Digital Inclusive and Accessibility in Rural Tourism.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Sandeepan Mandal. I'm a student of IHM Kolkata, currently pursuing my master's. So my topic is digital inclusion and accessibility in rural tourism. So for the introduction part, so in today's digital age, digital inclusion is crucial for accessing information and resources. Rural tourism, which is sometimes it is seen as unaffected by technology, confronts various hurdles that restricts its digitalization. So my study focuses on that thing only. So this research humanizes the. So this is my review of literature. I've taken from these sources. Ictthc, it analyzes. Yes, sir, I've done that. So these are my research objectives to evaluate the degree of digital integration in rural tourism by examining the accessibility of digital tools and technology for both the visitors and the community, and to examine how digital inclusion affects rural tourism destinations, social economic growth, and sustainability. So these are my objectives. Then, so my research design, it follows a descriptive research design. So my local is travel enthusiast. The tools and techniques which I followed is a mixed method approach, blending the review of literature with qualitative analysis of social media, online platforms, and travel sites. And the data collection, it includes an online questionnaire focusing on rural tourism, aiming to access digital inclusion levels and platform accessibility. The efficacy will be demonstrated through primary and secondary data analysis. So I've collected this data on digital transformation in rural tourism. So digitalization is reshaping the rural tourism, particularly during COVID-19, with India's mobile users surpassing the computer usage. So government initiatives, it aims to bridge the digital divide, reaching 96.3% of villages by 2023. So it was published in a research. Digital tools like online booking, mobile apps, and social media, they're revolutionizing the rural tourism, offering convenience and safety, especially post-pandemic. Next slide. So effect of digital inclusion in certain rural places for tourism in West Bengal. So social media is basically significantly influences travel decisions, like 44% of the travel decisions are taken from travel blogs, 37% from forums, 27% from Facebook, 24% from YouTube, and 22% from Pinterest. So Faith and West Bengal government. So Faith is the Federation of Association in Indian Tourism and Authority, and West Bengal government, it aims to link the tourist with cultural heritage through a memorandum of acceptance. So West Bengal's tourism model emphasizes production, infrastructure, resources, marketing, and income generation. It was published in a research paper. So digital inclusion boosts rural tourism as seen in Taki, West Bengal. So it's a place there where online platforms showcase its attraction, enhancing local businesses and economic growth. Similarly, Bajrapani Homestay, where I personally went there, in Darjeeling, it utilized social media and online reviews to promote and strengthen its visibility. So this is the data analysis and interpretation. Next slide. So from the left pie chart, it is visible that most of the participants are urban, with 24% from semi-urban areas. And from the next pie chart, you can see that 40% people check the internet daily to access information about rural tourism, which concludes that many people are eager to visit and promote rural areas favorable for tourism. So how do you rate the internet connectivity? So most of the people rated 5 stars, so it's internet connection is not an issue for them. From the next pie chart, we can see that 56% are aware of digital platforms providing local tourist attraction information, whereas 44% people are not. So from the left pie chart, we can see that people get information regarding rural tourism from various sources like Google, YouTube, Ministry of Tourism, online travel booking apps and sites. So what are the challenges they face while accessing digital information related to rural tourism? So 56% of people, they have mentioned that they face a lack of information regarding information on internet regarding rural tourism. So they are interested to know more about that, but they are not getting enough information in the internet. Okay. So how often do you participate in local tourism activities? So we can see that 40% they really participate in local activities. It is due to the lack of information on internet, primarily. This one is my data. So from this pie chart, we can see that almost everyone, like 96% of the people, they agree that the digital media is the way to make rural tourism information more accessible. And this concludes that most people are optimistic about the integration of digital media with rural tourism, which strengthens the cause of this research paper, I think. So we can see that 76% people, they prefer to receive information through digital platforms only. And from the next slide, 56% of the people, they are
Okay,
content with the current.
Sandeepan, we have got your point.
Okay.
Come to next slide.
Come to the conclusion.
So these are some of the suggestions which people have mentioned.
Okay, next slide.
So the limitations is basically time constraints due to which more responses could not be taken.
Okay, Sandeepan, we have a rough idea about what you have done. Take few suggestions, it will help you in future. What you have done is fine, it's a good effort, but it is not reliable. You have taken response from 25 people.
Yes, yes.
If you have some basic idea of maths, below 30 respondents, normalization cannot be achieved. So you cannot apply any regression analysis. You have done only percentage analysis. So again, that is a flaw. It doesn't signifies your result. Fine, that may be a matter of chance. Suppose आइसक्रीम खाने के बाद बुखार आ गया, तो एक चांस भी हो सकता है, isn't it? So similarly, the result, it may be just by chance. There is no significance. So my suggestion is go through brush up the research methodology tools and techniques, then write a paper. Okay.
Thank you.
And specifically when you have, such a large target population, who is your population, by the way, in this research?
So I have focused mainly on the students and also some of the relatives who are regular travelers around the India.
And your study area?
Sorry?
Your study area? The whole world. Study area.
Study area, sir, can you please elaborate the question?
Who is your population? All the students?
Mostly the students and also the people who has traveled around India at least twice a year.
So that means it is a big population, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then, sir का कहना वही है कि आपका sample size has to be appropriate.
Okay.
All right. तभी तो extraction होगा.
Sure,
अब sample, the population is, more than crore, and you are asking the questions, or you are trying to extract things from 25 people. It is not going to extract anything. That is what he meant to say. All right. The rest, it is good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Our next presenter is Soumya Ganguly on the topic Digital Flavor, exploring how digital media shape lost Bengali cuisine.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Shamo Ganguly. I am from IHM Kolkata. I'm doing my master's. I'm in second year. So my topic is digital flavor, exploring how digital media shapes lost Bengali cuisine. Next. Give me a little space. So my paper is on the Bengali cuisine, the rich and diverse Bengali cuisine, which has a culinary heritage. So it emphasizes on the historical flavors, textures, and the culinary methods that have been shaped by centuries and influences. And it highlights the unique tapestry of tastes and traditions that defines Bengali cuisine. Okay, sir. So my objective of the study is to understand the influence of digital media on the preservation and revival of lost Bengali cuisine. And the methodology is, so I have done a primary data from the questionnaires or survey, and my secondary data was from research papers or journals, and my sample size was 50 students. So the age group where maximum participants responded is between 16 to 25 years. So out of the 50 respondents, 95 of the population used digital media to find recipes of traditional Bengali cuisine. So out of them, 34% of the population sometimes encounter lost or traditional Bengali recipes on digital platforms like social media, blogs, or YouTube. And 30% of the population very often encounters or lost the traditional Bengali cuisine. So out of them, 78% of the population are influenced by digital media sources to revive lost Bengali recipes, whereas 21.7% of the population are slightly influenced. So out of the 50 respondents, 87% of the population believes that digital media accurately represents the authenticity and also the traditionality of Bengali cuisine. So like 52% population find YouTube, and the others like it can be through Facebook or Instagrams or like channels or like food blogs are there nowadays. And out of them, 60% have posted or shared a lost Bengali recipe on a digital platform. The next 56.5% of the population agrees that digital media helps in preserving the cultural heritage of Bengali cuisine. The 43.5% of the population are moderately influenced by cooking of Bengali dishes. 43.5% of the population thinks that digital media platforms can sometimes misinterpret Bengali cuisine. Like we all know, like Bengali cuisine can be misinterpreted by digital media also. My conclusion. So my study basically delves into the interplay between the digital media and the revival of traditional Bengali culinary practices. So primary finding of the research emphasizes the role of digital media in fostering communities of food enthusiasts and cultural preservations. Online forums and food blogs can be done. The study highlights how digital media has democratized the culinary landscape by allowing niche content tailored to Bengali cuisine lovers. And last of all, the financial aspect, as we all know, due to the digital media, we can get to know about the benefits of cooking classes or the catering services through online media.
Take a
Sir.
one thing that you have, your topic says that lost Bengali cuisine.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which are the few, lost Bengali cuisines?
Sir, like the old dishes, the traditional ones, which I have done by paper. Yes, like a shukto. Yes, like a shuk.
Shukto is alive, very much alive in all marriages and all.
Yeah. So I have mentioned most of. So they are telling, I don't know. Yes, sir, definitely.
इसके बारे में आप नहीं किया और हर बार स्टडी बता रहे हैं।
नहीं हमने काम किया है सर।
काम किया?
हाँ सर।
कहाँ कौन सा एरिया?
मतलब
of the topic in the market, not putting, not word, not putting, not.
Yes, sir.
Actually, first you need to find those lost pieces.
Hmm.
And then you have to do the research on those lost pieces, why they have been lost, and how they can be revived.
Yes, sir.
Yes. And how you can come to that is by studying the already written literature.
Yes, sir.
Secondary study by studying the literature review, by reviewing the literature already
sir.
existing in the market. Only then you will come to know the gaps. कि क्या gaps आ गए हैं. Only then you can research on that.
Chat GPT से नहीं होगा.
Sir.
And what I see, this is from Chat GPT.
No, sir.
I'm very much sure.
Come on. Vouch.
हाँ सर मतलब ग्राफ में हाँ सर ग्राफ में काम किए थे फिर मतलब ग्राफ में काम किए थे ग्राफ और पाई चार्ट में यस सर
Yeah.
यस सर सर फैकल्टी होने का हाँ सर हाँ सर.
लिटरेचर रिव्यू जब हम लिखते हैं तो इट हैज टू बी इन अ क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर. ऐसा नहीं है 2022 पहले लिख रहे हैं फिर उसके बाद 2017 में आ जा रहे हैं.
It's year wise.
लाइक अ स्टोरी ना. राम भरत शत्रुघ्न लक्ष्मण, नॉट लाइक कि पहले शत्रुघ्न आ गया फिर राम आ गया. इट हैज टू बी इन अ क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर. है स्टोरी बिल्डिंग है. थैंक यू. अच्छा है, बहुत बढ़िया, शाबाश.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
The topic is very good.
Our next presenter is Tarun. On the topic, influence of food delivery applications on culinary preferences and choice of people, a descriptive study.
Good evening, everyone. Before starting, I must introduce my topic. So the topic is regarding the influence of food delivery applications. And basically, these are the food aggregators which we are talking about. So these aggregators are the ones which really deliver the food, and they are not the ones who really prepare the food. So the examples for that is Swiggy and Zomato. I'm talking about all these food delivery applications, basically. So in recent years, the proliferation of the food delivery apps have revolutionized the people preferences of food delivery, food preferences of people regarding the food. So people are looking for convenient food rather than your traditional foods. So now coming on to the objectives of the study, to examine the factors influencing the food preferences such as taste preferences, cultural influences and promotional offers available on these platforms, and to analyze the impact of food delivery apps on individual dietary habits. Now, regarding the literature review, I have done the literature review because this is a very new topic. So you'll find the references with all the reviews, which are very latest ones. So because the food delivery apps have just come up, it has started getting exposure in after we have received the the things which have because these are very new things to us, and it is just because of the internet evolution and the internet speed which has increased. So more of the things are latest ones. So a few of them have said about the aggregators, and few have said about the flexibility in ordering. So now we come up to the findings. Now, research methodology, it is more of a I have written a descriptive study, but this is more of a review study, I believe, because I have reviewed the papers, and what they people have said, that is the basically done here. Next. And so the findings according to the first objectives, what are the people, when I talk about the first objective, so these are the findings that taste preferences have taken the things, these are the things which are influencing the people in choosing their food, and the cultural influences, cultural factors significantly impact food choices on delivery apps. And the promotional offers, these are the which offers which are being provided, these are the ones from which people look for their food. They don't prefer things because this is the biggest attracting power thing in your on food delivery apps, that the more the discounts they are giving, people are more attracted towards those restaurants. And when we talk about the second objective, the increased convenience and varied choices, and the potential of unhealthy choices and shift in eating patterns. So, and influence of promotional offers and limited impact on health conscious choices. And these are the recommendations that educational integration should be there. Incorporate these are recommendations for basically the apps or which are there, and they should all do all the things, and they should give all the information so that people can see for what is available and what are the nutritional values there. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Sir. Now I invite our last paper presenter, Dr. Kumar Satyam, Dr. Neeraj Agrawal, and Rajneesh Kumar Singh on the topic, the legacy of culinary knowledge among the native youths of state. a gap study with reference to acceptability of Bihari regional food.
Evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you. I'm Rajneesh. Today I am presenting the paper on the topic A Legacy of Culinary Knowledge among the native youths of the state Bihar, a gap study with a reference to acceptability of the Bihari regional food. So the main objective of this paper is to have a study on the gap of the cuisine knowledge among the natives of the Bihar when they reallocate from native state and they go to the different states, they forget their regional cuisine. And only on the few occasions they do cook their regional food. Nowadays, we know that the festivals like Chhat Puja and all now celebrated not only in the other parts of the state, country, all across the globe, they are celebrating. In a similar way, I also think that the cuisine should be also the part of the festivals when they celebrate it. And many of the dishes, what they are preparing in the state, maybe the ability of the raw materials are not there, or maybe the cooking process, they are not aware of, they are not cooking during the festivals. So my research paper is on that topic only. So these are the two objectives: to find out the existence of culinary knowledge among the native youths of Bihar, to find out the related factors of the acceptability of the Bihari regional food beyond the periphery. We can see next step. So broadly, if we classify the regions of the Bihar, we can see there are three parts: Bhojpuri region, Maithili region, and Magahi region. Actually, these are the languages which are spoken in that state, but the cuisine is also different from these three sub-regions of the Bihar. So we can see the few dishes of the states. Okay. These are my research methodology. I have collected data through primary data also and the secondary data also. Through primary data, the questionnaires were made and given to the students and the families which are away from the native states. And they have given their feedback. The sample size was 232. I have all the data in my full paper. If you want to see. Area of collection, mostly it was the students of the IHM outside the states and few families and the relatives. And the data was analyzed through ANOVA test. Yes, sir. Actually, I wanted to show you the whole data, how I have done the analysis and all. I have in my full paper, but I have not put it in the part of the presentation. Okay, sir.
Come to the conclusion, sir.
Conclusion, the survey data indicates the moderate awareness and acceptance of the Bihari regional food beyond the states. The conclusion is that, in a nutshell, I want to say that there are various regions. Maybe the families are getting nuclear. So whatever the tradition they pass out to the next generation, the cooking process, the methods, the people are forgetting. That is the one conclusion I find it in my research paper. The other conclusion was that the availability of the ingredients. Maybe the availability of ingredients are not available in that part of the area where the people are staying outside the Bihar. That may be the one reason. So these were my two major findings of the paper. He is my friend के friend है वो. बस.
बहुत बढ़िया, thank you. बहुत बढ़िया.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your presentation. We come to the end of the technical session. Now, I invite Dr. Bhupesh Kumar for the felicitate our session chairs. Dr. Abhinav Sandelia, Associate Professor and Head Department of HMCT, BIT Misra, Ranchi. Dr. Pankaj Chatterjee, Assistant Registrar, Establishment and HOD, Hotel Management, RKDF University, Ranchi. Mr. Sandeep Biswas, Head Academics, IIS School of Management, Siliguri, West Bengal. Dr. Naripendra Lingwal, Principal, Foodcraft Institute, Deoghar, Jharkhand. Mr. Ashwini Kumar, Assistant Director Studies, NCHMCT, Noida, Uttar Pradesh.
Last but not the least. Yes. The graphic क्या last है? Anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
Paper presenters will receive the paper tomorrow because we have to highlight the results also for the best paper. Okay.